I now call the Iberia Parish Council meeting to order for August 14th, 2024. The current time now is 6 o'clock. We have the prayer led by Councilmember Swear and the pledge led by Mr. Richard Phillips. Mr. Swear, please lead us. Amen. Mr. Phillips.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. Madam Clerk, please initiate the roll call.
Tommy Pollard. Here. Michael Landry. Here. Marcus Broussard. Here. Lloyd Brown. Here. Warren Gotchison.
Here.
Natalie Broussard. Here. Dustin Swear.
Here.
James Traha.
Here.
Scott Rossene.
Here.
Brock Pellerin.
Here.
Brian Napier.
Here.
Lady Fontanette Brown. Cayman Crapel.
Here.
And Chad Matcher.
We have 13 members in the quorum. Moving on to council member announcements. Anybody have, the gentleman from District 8 is recognized?
Yes, I'd just like to let everyone know that tomorrow night at the K Community Center, they'll have the Coastal Conservation Association banquet. The doors open at 5:30. So if anybody wants to come out in support of a great cause, come on out. Thank you.
The gentleman from District 8 yields back. The gentleman from District 13 is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to say there's a holiday that started today in Delcom, the Delcom Shrimp Festival.
We're going to get that up for you shortly, Mr.
The
Crapel.
festival actually brings in 2.5 times more visitors than residents in the whole town of Delcom. And it's the only weekend that everyone forgets that they pay so high a flood insurance and actually enjoys their weekend. So I got a list here of the bands this week. Tonight is Nicole Marie. Thursday is Swampland Revival. Friday is Junior Lacrosse, Dustin Saunier, and Dylan Cormichael. And Saturday is Cajun Roots, Crossfire, the Bo Young Band, Jared Lane, and Chris Cagle. And on Sunday, they finish off with Ryan Fourier and Fourier Tradition. And that's it, Mr. Chairman.
The gentleman from District 13 yields back. The gentlewoman from District 12 is recognized.
To piggyback off of festivals, I would like to announce that Generate will be hosting the second annual French Bread Festival on November 2nd. That press release and memo will be going out this week. I also wanted to extend an invitation from our state representative, Marcus Bryant. He is inviting the council to the Committee of Natural Resources and Agriculture. They are having a meeting on August 22nd at 9 a.m. and solar panels and solar farming is going to be up for discussion. So that is scheduled for Thursday, August 22nd at 9 a.m. in Baton Rouge. I'll send an email with the address. Okay. I yield back.
The gentlewoman from District 12 yields back. The gentleman from District 4 is recognized. He's on. Hold on one second, Mr. Brown. I apologize. Let's see why.
Your mic's on, Mr. Brown?
Yeah, he's
It's on.
try it now, Mr. Brown. Yes, sir.
Got- Food for Families will be distributed in the West End Park on the 21st of this month, and it'll be from 6:30 to 8:30.
All right. Are you finished, Mr. Brown?
Yes.
The gentleman from District 4 yields back. Is there anyone at this time that did not have an opportunity to speak? Do not see any requests on the board. Moving on to Parish President announcements. President Reshort. His light's not on. Is it?
Put you at the bottom there. Is it on?
Okay, let me.
Yeah.
Hear me now? There
How
you
about
go. All right, great. It looked like they're having some computer difficulties right now. I was going to try to wait so we can get this thing going. You know what? We're just going to move forward. We have a lot going on tonight. Starting off with litter abatement. Litter abatement took place on Saturday, July the 27th, and Saturday, August the 10th. 9 people participated on the 27th, and 8 people participated on the 10th from 8 o'clock in the morning to 12 noon. A combined total of 119 bags of trash and tires were collected around the areas of El Dubois Road, in Dubois, McAnally Road, David Dubois, Black Lion Road, and Grand Prairie Road. From July the 24th through August the 13th, the Public Works Department completed several tasks, which includes cleaning culverts, tree trimming, field and roadside drainage, limestone hauling, road patching and repairs, and other work, as you can see, not yet on the screen. Also, we're still looking into hiring a few positions into the Public Works Department. And is anyone looking to come to work with Public Works, just go on our website and you'll see what these available jobs are. Project updates. Construction have begun for Labbe Road Bridge replacement, with Gray Construction serving as the contractor. The drainage is complete so far. The existing bridge has been completely removed, and Powell drivings began last week. The project is scheduled to be completed in about 150 calendar days, which is expected to be at the end of October of this year. Construction continues for the Vita Shaw Road Bridge replacement. The old bridge has been removed, and the foundation slab and box covers walls has been poured. The upper seal slab is being formed, and when that's poured, construction is expected, of course, to be completed by the end of November. We've got some good projects going on, and we're trying to complete them. We're nearing the finish line for the Jefferson Canal South project. The contractor is currently installing the flap gates and trash racks at the structure inlet and outlets. Once that is completed, they will perform the controlled flood tests to the gates for proper sealing and operations before removing the dams. Testing expected to take place at the end of this week, and we'll try to get some live footage to put that on our website. And after that, the final site cleanup and shaping is remaining, and we expect that project to be completed next month. The Jefferson Island Sidewalk project is also nearing completion. Drainage is completed, and the 4 driveways serving the school have been installed and were open last week for the staff and the students returning to school for the new year. The first run of the sidewalks in front of Sugar Land Elementary was poured last week, and pouring continues this week. The sidewalks will extend from Dillard Street to the Clico subdivision just past Westgate. This is a big deal that we needed. As you know, Mike, this is in your district. We're trying to protect the kids in that particular area. The safety of the children is our highest priority, and providing them with a safe route to school is essential. Additional projects. With the recent passing of the road tax that went into effect on July the 1st, my office and several council members have received numerous inquiries about the roads to be repaired. I want to assure you we are actively gathering information on the roadway that need attention to assess the roads and also the priority of these roads. We expect that the projects, as far as starting to do the work on the road, should take place somewhere around January of this year. We'll have several more meetings that need to be addressed between the Iberia Parish Council, the engineers, the construction companies, as well as conversations that we hope to have with the constituents of Iberia Parish as what need to be done with those roads. This is a big deal. We finally got money to get the roads like we need them in Iberia Parish, and we need to do the best that we can actually do for the people of Iberia Parish. We're currently in the process of preparing and finalizing the 2025 budget. A healthy and responsible budget is critical in ensuring our community's continued growth and prosperity. Aligning our finances and financial resources with our strategy, priorities, and the long-term goals that we have in Iberia Parish is absolutely critical. So it's important that we structure our budget with the projects that we're looking to do in Iberia Parish and keep our funds working right. I'm trying to go through this really quick. Speaking of finances, I have some bittersweet news to talk about right now. Our finance director, Kim Segura, is no longer going to be with us after Friday of this week. Kim served 8.5 years, a little bit over 8.5 years with me as my finance director. A total of 15 years with Iberia Parish government. She's going into the private sector, and like she told me, she get an opportunity to work from home. And she also mentioned to me the amount of work that we have in Iberia Parish is a lot different than what it was when we came here in 2015.
Absolutely.
If y'all remember, in 2015, I think we had 6 bridges we had to get out for bid. Right now, we have over 60 active projects. So we're going to miss her, and we wish the best for her. In saying it like that, Parish Council, I will be going to you with this budget this year, trying to hire additional people, not only in finance. We're looking to bring probably 1, 2, 3 people in finance, and another person. We have another person that's going to be retiring next year. Can't tell you when, but that's our Homeland Security guy. So we're looking to hire someone in that particular position, and I will be putting that money in the budget as well for next year. That position that we currently have, Homeland Security with Prescott Marshall, he's handling 2 different jobs, Homeland Security and 911. 911 is actually going to be, that position is going to be appointed by the 911 Commission. We're going to take care of hiring the Homeland Security person that we have that's going to represent Iberia Parish. As you know, that's a very big job. That job is the person that when we're looking to do things like voluntary evacuations, any types of emergencies, I'm getting my lead from that person. Of course, we have others that's in those meetings with us, such as the Sheriff Department and the National Guard, and the list goes on. We have a big team that work with this, but that's a very big position. So we're going to have to find the best person that we feel that can do the job. In saying that, we probably won't find anyone that have the experience Prescott have, but we're going to hire someone that I feel is at least going to have the capacity to learn what's going on. The same thing is going to apply when you're dealing with Kim. It's going to be very hard to find someone to come in here with the experience that Kim have and the governmental experience that she have. So we're going to have to make sure that that person that we hire, whether it's going to be for Homeland Security or for finance, that we give them an opportunity to meet with other people that have like jobs in different parishes and go around and get whatever training they're going to need to be successful to do the job in Iberia Parish. With that said, Mr. Chairman, the only other thing I would like to add is the website that we have in Iberia Parish. Anyone get a chance to go visit it, please go visit it. And if you see anything where you need to make some changes, where you think we need to make changes or we need to add something, simply just give us a call. And while I'm talking about employees, I want to give a thank you to all of Iberia Parish government employees. We have an unbelievable group of people that work for Iberia Parish government. It's a team, and we just have to continue to work as a team. We have employees that need to be, additional employees that we need to hire in several different business groups, and we look forward to hiring them and keep this parish moving forward. Any questions from anyone?
I do want to state a comment about Ms. Segura. I mean, Kim has done a fine job in this parish since I've come on board. She's, we agreed, disagreed, but she's always kept us in line where we needed to be at, told us where we were at all times, and we can all agree that Ms. Segura is going to be hard to replace, but I have total confidence that the administration is working on that.
Well, one thing I can pass on to you guys, speaking about Kim, this week we've had meetings with several, including several companies, including our auditing firm, to where we will have to get some people to do some work. One of the things that we have to realize what Kim has done alone is she not only managed the finance department, but she handled all of the grant projects that we have going on in Iberia Parish. Yeah. And that itself is a full-time job. It's a lot. I shouldn't say full-time job, it's a lot. And so one of the things that we came up with is we're probably going to have to hire someone that can monitor the grants projects that we're doing. And if you think about it in Iberia Parish, all of these projects that we're doing, you already know what kind of money we've been having. So most of the projects we're doing is coming from federal dollars or state dollars. And so we're just going to have to figure out how to hire people and train the people. And I feel we're going to make it. Don't get me wrong. The budget for this year, we've gone through many of the departments so far. We got Michelle. Michelle is doing a fantastic job. And the thing about Iberia Parish government right now, we have a lot of employees that's aging and not necessarily getting old, but they've been with the company for so long, you know, over 30 years. And that's where you started getting to where you got to start looking to get someone to shadow what they're doing, because at any minute they can say, I got my 30 years and I'm gone. You know, so that's where we at. We plan to address that and take care of it and keep this business moving forward. I think we can make it work.
Members, at this time, are there any questions for the parish president? We do have one by the gentleman from District 10.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Larry, I got two questions for you.
Okay.
How many employees we have with Public Works that's on grass cutting duty?
Oh, on grass cutting duty, probably 4, maybe 5. Let me take a look at it. I get a report every morning. Go to your next question. I answer it later.
So,
Oh,
to
Go ahead.
tag along on that, is there anything we can do to maybe add a couple more guys on that? Because I know they've been in District 9 for 2 months now, and it takes a while. It takes a while for them to make that rotation, and at this time of the year.
Yes, as you know, we've been trying to hire employees for quite some time. The problem that we're hiring is the Archer study that we have and the dollar amounts that we have to pay people by the council it's low. And until we can get something in order to where we can increase the amount of money that we're paying employees, I have to tell you, I don't think it's going to get any better. Right now, I have a couple of people right in here from Public Works, and we have some very dedicated people. But the talent that they really have, to be directly honest with you, we have some dedicated people is all I'm going to try to tell you. So I get it. I can tell you one of the things we talked about yesterday, as far as Public Works, we talked about the road tax that was passed. And you know, in that road tax, we talked about having some $1.3, $1.4 million that would be used for road maintenance. One of the things we talked about yesterday is trying to outsource that, and the reason being, if we come, and it's just a conversation, but think about this for a minute. If you hire 3 people to do road work and shoulder work and patching or whatever the case is, you got $1.3 million for 3 people, benefits and salary, you're probably talking in the neighborhood of $200,000 or whatever the case is, a little bit, maybe a little bit more in some cases. Those dollars could be, in my opinion, getting started, used to actually get some of this work done by outsourcing it. So this is something that I'm really going to try to push for right now, since we can't really find the people to hire that we need to hire. We need to come up with a scope of work. In fact, I already got Michael Broussard working with one of our neighboring parishes that's doing this. So I want to look at the scope of work that they have when they're hiring these companies and see if it's something like that we can look at doing that for Iberia Parish. And not only going outsourcing it, you're responsible and they're responsible for getting things done correctly. And if they don't get it done correctly, you're simply not paying them. So we're going to have to change the way business is done for a little while until we can get everything squared away. As far as Iberia Parish government bringing businesses in, I think I seen Mike Tarantino here earlier. We have several companies that's looking to come into this parish right now. The big thing I'm concentrating on right now, to be frank with you, is infrastructure. Bringing more infrastructure into Iberia Parish, all the way from water and sewer and gas and fiber, including a sewer facility, a sewer plant. So we got some things that we need to talk about at some point in time, maybe not at this meeting, but maybe at one of the committee meetings I can come and talk to you guys about some of the things that we're doing. Because basically when we're getting here is really structured as far as what we're talking to. Some councilmen's come and they talk to me all the time, so they know what I'm talking about. But I would like to maybe at some point in time just sit down and have a conversation so y'all can understand exactly what it is that we're looking to do in Iberia Parish. Next question.
Next question. Any update or any info on the new animal shelter?
Yes, in fact, I spoke to Mr. Lee today with facility planning. He's been out doing some things. He's just got back. We've been trying to call him, I guess, for the last 2-3 weeks. He's in there moving locations, yeah. So we're looking to get a meeting with he and our architect, which is Paul Allen, on that facility. That facility we need to move. And we're not at standstill. We already signed contracts. Well, we signed agreements on certain things so far, but we need to get that money spent because that money is coming from capital outlay. And as you know, if you don't spend it, you're going to lose it. So we're totally aware of all that.
So do we have any time frame on,
Excuse me?
do we have any time frame on that?
On what, on that what?
Starting,
Starting the building?
yeah.
Oh, no. That still have to come from facility planning. And what I mean, what have to come from facility planning, they have to have what's called a kickoff meeting and all that good stuff and go over everything with accounting to make sure how everything is going to be monitored. And so it's a process.
The gentleman from District 10 yields back. The gentleman from District 3 is recognized.
Yeah, Mr. Larry,
I told him already. Excuse me?
Mr. Larry,
Yes, sir.
mentioning the contracting out of the grass was spurred up. Another thought, I remember Chad asking several months ago about us looking into doing some of the contracting out, the ditch clean, not ditch cleaning, but the canal cleaning as well. I don't remember if I've heard anything back or not. It just kind of spurred that question that Chad had
That
asked.
is-
I
that
think
is
Michael was
something
going to
that-
look and send
No.
some bids or send some
No, we haven't-
information
we
out.
haven't- We haven't sent any bids
Okay.
out. That is something that we are looking at of doing, but no, we have not sent any bids out or anything like that. This is a conversation a deeper conversation that needs to take place with the Public Works Director who is actually out and the Public Works team. But I think outsourcing is, honestly speaking, I think outsourcing is the way to utilize these dollars to the best, to be frank with you. When you think about your employees and you think about the turnaround and basically what we're doing, I don't want to say this the wrong way, but especially when you're talking about Public Works. We're hiring people that's coming here and they're staying here for a minute and we're training them and they're going elsewhere because they're getting paid more money. So we need to look at where we are, and I think outsourcing is going to be something that we really, really need to look into big time.
I'm good.
Thank
Thank
you.
The
And
gentleman from-
Brock, it's 4 employees. I don't know if I've answered it, it's 4.
The gentleman from District 3 yields back. Is there any other questions? Hearing and seeing none, moving on to public session. I need a motion to go into public session. I have that motion by Councilman Carpel, second by Councilwoman Broussard. Vote your machines, members. That motion carries. We're now into public session. Number 1, Madam Clerk.
Comments from the general public on agenda items.
We did not receive any item A.
Mr. David Groner to address the council to announce his candidacy for the office of Iberia Parish Tax Assessor.
Mr. Groen, if you can just state your name and address for the record, please.
David Groner, 230 West Main Street, New Iberia, Louisiana.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, honorable members of the council, Mr. President, good to see you. It's great to be here. Sorry to talk to you back, Mr. Brown.
That's all right.
So I'm David Groner. I'm a lifelong resident of New Iberia, Louisiana. Graduated from New Iberia Senior High School with Mike Landry. We were classmates. And,
Damn, you that old?
yeah, I know. Mike's older than me, but it's the same class. I'm just kidding. Anyway, I went on to, my father died when I was 13, but I had to work my way through college, went to USL, then I went to LSU full-time, the whole time, and after that I went to LSU Law School, worked full-time, and went to LSU Law School full-time. Came back, practiced law in New Iberia. I've been very successful. I was the only one in Iberia Parish named super lawyer and the top 100 lawyers in Louisiana by Louisiana Life magazine. So lately, in the last 10 years or so, I've become an expert in real estate law, and I primarily do a lot of real estate law, as well as helping a lot of people in their estate planning, keeping from losing their homes to nursing homes and probate and those kind of things. So anyway, let's get to the assessor's race. When the signs went up, a lot of people started calling me and said, David, we need a choice. You realize we have not had an assessor's race in this parish in probably 30 years, and it's been the same chain of people that have had the same family, so to speak, as assessor for at least 60 years or more. So here we are. We have an assessor's race, and most people say, what does the assessor do? Well, what they do is, it's really simple, and let me just say this. So I also work as attorney for the Clerk of Court's office. I've been with David Ditch since he started. He took over an office that was in kind of disarray, a lot of bad things going on. And I watched him take that office and turn it around and make it one of the best Clerk of Court's offices in the whole state of Louisiana. Best technology, the employees love each other, it's like a family, they're very friendly, it's a wonderful place to work. And he didn't do that by working at the clerk's office 20 years. He did it because he brought his experience being like you guys on the council, his business as a successful businessman, educated at LSU. He brought that to bear and brought in new ideas, fresh ideas, and turned it around. And so when this was going on, a lot of people said, Dave, why don't you do this? It's in your skill set. And I started thinking, there are some problems with the assessor's office, and I really think that we do need to have a change. And the more I thought about it, I've dedicated a lot of my life to public service, and I'm not going to go through all that stuff with you. But in the process of that, I realized, I could spend the rest of my career helping turn the assessor's office around, making it a better place for the public, for the real estate community, for the banking community, and for, everybody involved. And so looking at it, I said, finally, yeah, I'll do it. And that's why I'm running. I feel like I can make changes. So what's wrong? Well, first of all, why am I the best candidate, do I believe? Well, I'm a licensed title attorney. In other words, when I give a title opinion and render a decision, insurance companies will put millions of dollars on that and actually, insure it. The assessor's office offers this misinformation, the thing, and we try to correct that as attorneys. All of us do. We try to correct it so they get better, but they're not attorneys, and frankly, nobody can loan money on what the assessor says as far as who owns the property or what the description is. It's just not, it just wouldn't work. But the other thing the assessor does is called fair market value. There's only 2 responsibilities at the assessor's office, 11 employees. Determine who owns the property in the parish, whose the title is in, what's the fair market value? Well, a while back, they were expropriating, the Corps of Engineers was expropriating property in the Chafalaya Basin. And they were, in the process of doing that, the federal judges in Lafayette, where the cases would be heard, said, wait a minute, we don't want to clog up our courts with all these cases. We're going to appoint a commission to oversee and conduct hearings and then recommend to us what the fair market value would be. Well, who did they appoint out of 10,000 lawyers in South Louisiana to do that? Me. And so I conducted dozens of hearings in Lafayette. I listened to competing appraisals, competing evidence, and I always came up with the value. And not one time did a federal judge overturn me, and not one time did either the Corps of Engineers or the landowner appeal my decision. It was always correct because I listened to the evidence. I knew the weak spots in the appraisals. I knew what should be the fair market value, and my decision was always held up. Well, what does the assessor's office do now? They use a computer program, an out-of-state computer program that doesn't take into account the enormous cost of flood insurance in Delcombe, that people are having to literally lose their homes, some of them. I did a closing the other day. It was just a ranch house near Lake Penieur. They were paying $22,000 a year in flood insurance, just flood insurance. You wonder why that house couldn't sell? That's why it couldn't sell. And that's not being considered at the assessor's office, and it's not fair. So I need to bring fairness back to the assessor's office. Transparency. You ever look at your assessment from the assessor's office? You see a number. How did they get to that number? There's 3 ways: market value, cost approach, income approach. Which did they use? You don't know because they don't tell you. I will tell you. I will show you what it is. You bring me the evidence that you're having a terribly increased cost in flood insurance or homeowners insurance or something, and I, as assessor, am going to help determine. I'm going to bring in a certified appraiser to help me determine what is the fair market value of your property. We don't have to go to Baton Rouge. We'll do it right here in New Iberia. And all you get nowadays, from what people tell me, they go to the assessor's office, hey, it's either our way or the highway. The computer's right, it's never wrong. You got to go to Baton Rouge if you don't like it. Well, that's wrong, because an assessment is just an opinion. It's not a fact. And you have to incorporate all these factors before you come up with the right opinion. So a lot of other changes I'd like to make. I know time's short, Mr. Chairman. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak. Hope to see you guys on the campaign trail. Vote for David Groner, number 15. Thank you very much.
Hold on, Mr. Groner. We
Yes,
do have a question on the floor by Councilwoman Brown.
Oh, Mr. Groner, I just wanted to say in your introduction, you forgot to mention that you campaigned for the first black Republican mayor of Jeanerette.
And that would be your daddy, huh?
Yes, you forgot that.
And that was and I tell you what, we brought in the future president of the United States. Well,
Yes.
actually, the president was supposed to come, but he couldn't make it. We had Big Cat Ernie Ladd, who was very good friends with the president. So instead of the president coming, he sent his son, George Bush, to come down here. It was a wonderful occasion. We had a great time.
Yes, you
Remember that?
That's
Anyway,
all I wanted to say.
thank you
All
so
right,
much for bringing
thank
that
The
up.
gentlewoman yields back. Mr. Groner, thank you for being here, sir. Good luck to you. Moving on to item B.
Ms. Alyssa Boudreau to address the council regarding the Holly Wolf Doggy Fashion Show sponsored by Acadiana Spay Neuter.
Ms. Boudreaux, if you can just state your name and address for the record, please.
Sure. My name is Elisa Boudreaux Broussard. I live at 7205 Gondron Road in New Iberia, Louisiana. I'd like to thank y'all for letting me come and speak to you guys tonight. In 2022, I had some extra time and I decided that I wanted to volunteer at IPAC, the animal shelter. So I went there and volunteered for a couple of months and tried to help the manager at the time organize some thoughts and see maybe where we could do something different. Well, after a couple of months of that, I had to stop going there. But I kept thinking, what can I do to help the shelter? Buy food, just, whatever. After a while, I figured out you can't buy food out of the shelter situation. You can't adopt out the animals at the situation that's there now. It's just not feasible. So what I decided was I was going to start a project called BFF Spay Neuter Project and specialize or focus on spay neuter. What I do is raise funds to work with Acadiana Spay Neuter, which is a new veterinary clinic that opened within the last 2 years. She works for low-cost spay neuter and preventative health care for the animals. Not a lot of people know that she's there because she's a one-person vet. So anyway, I started trying to fundraise and make money to help her to do promotions. So we also do education. We do these plush pet adoptions where we go into private schools, and this summer we went to some camps. And we allow the children in the camps and the schools to adopt a stuffed animal. And then they go through these stations where they name their pet. They physically listen to the heart, check the ears, eyes, do the vaccines, and also we teach them how to bathe and train their dogs. It's just a little mini clinic that reminds kids that they need to take care of their animals and what is the process in that. So we do that, plus we do spay neuter. And in the first 8 months of me starting the BFF Spay Neuter Project, I've helped to do a promotion where we did 8 dogs and 48 cats in 8 months. Well, sometimes I think that's not a lot. That's not a lot of cats and dogs that were fixed. But I handed out a visual where you can see the one cat, if it's not spayed or neutered, spayed, because it's a female, that one cat can turn into 52 cats within 16 months. And it happens. There's neighborhoods in New Iberia where they have feral cats all over the place. And people try to do what they call TNR, where they trap the cat, have it neutered, and then they return it to the area. But individuals need to be able to spay or neuter their dogs and cats as well. And that's kind of what we're focusing on right now, is to help the people who need to do it, who can't afford it, to get that done. So we did a lot of small promotions recently, and we realized it's a lot of work for a little money. So August 24th, the sign in the front is what we're trying to do. It's called Hollywolf. It's a dog fashion show. We have the general public who can pay to enter and go down the runway. We are also having shelter dogs from IPAC, where people can sponsor the shelter dog, and they will have volunteers who will walk the shelter dogs down the runway as well. We want to try to adopt out some dogs too. But the main thing is to bring awareness to spay and neuter. I think that's the only way that we're going to get out of this issue with, the animal shelter. And it's not only Iberia Parish, it's all the parishes in the state are having the problem. We do need a new shelter, but I don't think that's the total answer. We need to start focusing on this too. So if you can come, we'd like everybody to come to the Hollywood Fashion Show. Tickets are $50, and you get a meal with it, and you help the parish's animals. So
Where is it?
it's going to be at the Harvest Room on St. Peter Street. It's across from Epiphany Day School on the
Oh,
side.
okay, yeah.
The Harvest Room.
I got you.
Yeah, it's going to be there. Doors will open at 5, and the shows start at 6.
All right.
I do have a question for you,
Sure.
Councilmember Broussard.
Hey, Ms. List, thanks for, thanks for putting all this effort. What does it cost to spay or neuter an animal? I don't know if you mentioned it earlier or not.
No, I didn't say because it depends on what it is. Cats are cheaper, and it depends on what veterinary clinic you go to. I can tell you when I started this, I called several clinics. The most expensive was about $310 for the smallest dog. Okay? Most expensive, over $300. Acadiana Spay Neuter charges $150. So that's half the price to begin with. When we did a promotion, we raised enough money to spay or neuter dogs at 50% off. So if that's the case, and you have a small dog, you would pay $75. Cats are a little bit cheaper, but yeah, it just depends on where you go, the price. So, you know, when I talk to people, I try to tell them that. You know,
It
you
gives
need to
them an
call
idea how
around, you
much
need
you
to check the
need,
prices. Same thing with vaccines, you know. Yeah. So, anyway,
Thank you.
anybody else?
The gentleman from District 3 yields back. Anyone else in a question for Ms. Boudreaux?
I just-
Hearing and seeing none, if you want
Thank
to
you.
wrap. Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
just like to
President
say
Schmidt.
you're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for what you do.
Everybody loves animals. And, you know, I really want everybody to be able to have an animal if that's what they choose to do. So having affordable pet care is really important. You know, I think they change lives. I don't have children, but I have animals.
While you're at it, I have one that have allergies, and I spend around $175 a month. Can you reduce that
Yeah.
for me?
You know, maybe we can try something.
We do
Okay.
have a question about a council member from District 11.
So, Ms. Boudreaux, again, like everybody else, thank you for what you do. More people should be involved. This is a great, look, I got 2 dogs and a cat at my house, and they all spayed or neutered. If a business or anyone just wanted to make a donation,
Absolutely.
walk us through that. I mean, how? Because you're being live streamed right now, so anybody watching.
Yeah, you can do a donation online. All you have to do is request, and we can send a Square invoice, and they can do it online. Or if they want to go to the clinic, the Acadiana Spay Neuter Clinic.
So what is
it's-
your online? You have like
It's a Facebook page.
It's a Facebook page,
Yes.
and it's
Hollywood,
Holly Wolf.
right, Doggy Fashion
Holly
Show.
Wolf,
Right,
okay.
it's an event that we have online on Facebook.
Okay.
And you can buy tickets through there, you can sponsor the shelter dogs
Or
through
if
there.
you just want to make
You
a
just-
donation,
It
it
yeah,
doesn't have to be
same thing.
about the show.
Mhm,
Okay.
Right.
Thank you so
Yep.
much.
All right, thank
Gentleman
you.
from District 11 yields back. Seeing and hearing no other comments. Thank you for being
Thank
here.
you.
We
Thank
appreciate it. Moving on to number 2, Madam Clerk.
Persons being considered for the appointment to parish boards and commissions to address the council.
Anybody here for an appointment to a board or commission? Hearing and seeing none, I need a motion to go back into regular session. I have that motion by Councilwoman Broussard, second by Councilman Trahan. Vote your machines, members, to go back into regular session.
Wait,
Councilman Brown?
okay.
That motion carries. We're now back into regular session. Moving on to community events and public service announcements. We do have Director Marjorie Hills here from the library board to give you a short presentation, members. And I believe Miss Erica's also. Miss Erica, you're gonna, it's a challenge I'll do what you did the last time, so I have high expectations.
Yeah.
No pressure, no pressure.
Oh, good.
Welcome back. If you could just state your name and title for the record.
Erica Romero, Community Relations Coordinator for the Iberia Parish Library System.
Very good.
All right, last time I saw y'all about 2 months ago, we just finished our first week of our summer program, and we are now done. We have completed it. Pop the confetti and everything. All right. So, I had a week off last week, so I'm refreshed now.
All right. I like it.
Alrighty, so we have some brand new pictures for y'all here from our summer workshops. We did complete our 39th year of the Youth Summer Workshop Program at the Iberia Parish Library System. Completed 17 children's workshops, 12 teen workshops, and 10 adult workshops. First time having adult workshops since 2011. And our youth workshops were sponsored by Community First Bank, Summit Hill Foods, Town Planner, and the Friends of the Library. What we did this summer was so much fun. We've had workshops ranging from different crafts like paper mache, painting, dancing with Studio 84. We had art teachers come out. We had Kate Ferry and Paul Snyder come out. Mr. Jim Foray came to do wilderness survival class where they made little tents right there. It was such a fun time. We even had Eilish Rag Center do cooking classes. We had themed days, Star Wars Day, an Indiana Jones Day, a Glow Night, a Shark Day, a Pirate Day, where they did different crafts. Star Wars Day, we made little Ewoks and pencil holders that looked like R2-D2, and we played a whole bunch of different games and trivia. It was a great time. And that's kind of things that we did for those themed type days. On top of those workshops, we had a whole bunch of other programs going on all around the parish. So every single branch did at least one children's, one teen, one adult program going on. So like in Laurelville, they made Eiffel Towers out of recycled objects. In Parkview, they've done, the Magic School Bus Goes to Outer Space, where they did different little space crafts. Generate, they made DIY treasure boxes, making, lemon and watermelon coasters in Lydia, decorated strawberries out in Koto, using chocolate to look like safari-themed prints. In St. Peter, they dipped Oreos and made them look like little miniature aquariums with goldfish. So we've done stuff like this all throughout the parish, too. It was a lot of fun. We also had 6 different performers come out. These are pictures of some of them, and the Indiana Jones one with the hats. But the numbers this year, we had in June 3,359 attendees attend the workshops, the events, the performers.
That is good.
In July, we had 2,199 attendees. This number increased from last year by 1,383 attendees. I was super excited about that. We continue to move on forward. It's really great. So it's like other things we did, because we did all this fun stuff, we didn't stop there. We also were connecting with the community. So this summer, we were a stop for the Miles Pratt Cancer Services Games of Acadiana. We also conducted a story time over at the Little People Place Early Development Center Daycare. And we recently had a table at the Back to School Drive over at West End Park, where we handed out information with the newsletters like some of y'all got now, the online resources. We gave out bookmarks and magnets and information that some of these kids would need about, tutoring or homework help that they have access to at the library. So with all this was just the summer, a little taste of it. We do have stuff moving forward. Miss Marjorie will talk about some new online resources we do have coming our way, and then I'll hop back in.
Ms. Hills, if you can just state your name and title for the record, please.
Marjorie Hills, Director of Iberia Parish Library.
Welcome back.
Hi, thank you. I am not going to try to match her energy.
It's going to be tough, Ms. Hills. It's going to be tough.
I'm going to give y'all a little breath, and then you'll jump back in. But anyways, we chose 2 of our online resources to highlight. Whenever we think about purchasing online resources for the general public of Iberia Parish, we always look for something that's going to enhance people's lives, that they can actually learn from and use in their everyday lives. And so 2 of them here that we have, one is called Financial Fit. And this is for young adults just getting out of school and learning about life, or even adults who've never had a solid financial structure. This is a program that they can go into and learn how to budget their finances, to build credit, how to buy a home, how to pay for higher education or manage credit cards. All of this is for to lay a better financial foundation for them to be able to take further in their lives. And so we're excited about this one. We, as always, it's free. We pay for these ourselves, and it's free to the patrons. All you need is a library card to be able to get into these programs, into these databases. Our reference librarian also holds classes. So whenever we have classes to highlight these, we ask that people sign up and come in, and she takes time with them and can show them how to use these to better themselves. And so the second one that we have is called Blue Career by EBSCO Learning, and EBSCO is a library-centric company that gives lots of programs. We've got several databases with them, but this is one of the newer ones that we're highlighting. And this is for people to come in, not only people looking for a job, but employers to come in. It's called it's called a Blue Recruit tool. So Blue Career, and they have the Blue Recruit tool, and employers can actually match up with people who are looking for jobs. There's a range of trades, 100+ trades, and a dozen industries that this program highlights. And so people come in, they take an assessment, and everything's online. So they take an assessment and they learn skilled trades. They can learn trade school information, scholarship information. It's 24/7, so you can access this in the library or at home, free with your library card. Also, we hold classes. We'll be holding classes coming in the fall to walk patrons through this so that they can be able to use this to their advantage.
And I'm back. So, other things that we have coming up that are in our newsletter, we have a financial talk coming up with First Pioneers Federal Credit Union on August 27th. They're coming to talk about financial scammers, how to avoid them, how to spot them, what do you do whenever you come across them. And then September 24th, they're going to be talking about credit basics, how to build up your credit, how to keep it, all good and everything like that. We have a college talk series, and I'm super excited about it. We had this last year. We had UL come out. This year, I got called Solak, but it's SLCC. They rebranded themselves recently. But SLCC is coming out, and on the September 3rd, September 9th, UL is coming out. Both of them will bring people from their admissions office to talk about how do you apply to this college. They talk about the university, what they have going on over there. SLCC told me they're going to bring someone from their financial aid office, too, to answer any kind of questions regarding that. So this is going to be open up to high school, juniors, seniors, their parents, because the colleges go over to the schools, but mom and daddy don't go, and mom and daddy got the questions about the schools and everything. This they can come to. And recently, LOSFA, the Louisiana Office of Student Financial Assistance, came over to the library to kind of give a presentation about FAFSA and TOPS and everything like that. Myself and LOSFA are still in contact. Once they find out when the opening date to register for FAFSA is, we are going to set up a FAFSA night where students and parents can come over to the library and fill out the FAFSA with the people from LOSFA there. Because I remember doing it in high school, and me and my mom were on the brink of tears trying to fill out that FAFSA form so we could get the financial aid. These people are going to be here in front of you to help you through the process. That way you can get your financial aid that you need for your future college students. That's just some of the stuff that we have coming up. That's it for me, unless y'all have any questions.
We do have some, Ms. Romero. We
Alrighty.
do have one by Councilman Pollard.
Yes, ma'am. Do you have a time on that for September for the SLCC and also UL?
SLCC will be from 6 to 7:30. UL will be from 6 to 7 o'clock.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We do have one by Councilmember Landry.
Just to give y'all a big shout out. I think in today's society, when we see they're trying to shut libraries down, I'm looking at what y'all doing and how y'all bringing people in, especially the young people.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for all you've done for this parish.
Appreciate that.
Councilman Pellerin on the question?
Yeah, Mike took my fame, but I just wanted to say thank y'all. We always talk about we needed to move the library system in a different direction, and you proved tonight that y'all working hard at doing that. Just to increase that summer workshop for 1,000 kids in one summer. I mean, y'all really doing a great job. Keep up the good work. Thank y'all for everything y'all doing.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Brown.
Just to piggyback off of Councilman Pellerin and Councilman Landry, you guys are definitely moving the library system in the right direction. I think you guys have a really great blueprint over there, and I just want to give you guys a big kudos, especially from the Generette community, because you guys are definitely an asset to us. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hearing and seeing none from the council, Parish President Richard.
Council, I think you're going to see the library under the direction of Ms. Hill doing a lot more. In fact, this past Monday for the every other Monday staff meeting that we have, we're looking at using the library to work with trying to get high school kids educated on some of the jobs that we currently have coming into Iberia Parish. Working along with SLCC and some of the things that we are doing with SLCC and UL. The library is not only a place where you can go and rent a book, it's about educating people, and you're going to see a lot of that taking place in the very near, I mean, you see it already. You take a look at what took place in the last 2 months. I think in years to come, you're going to see a lot happening with that library. So I just want to pass it on to you.
Ms. Hills, Ms. Romero, thank y'all for coming again. We'll
Thank
see y'all
you.
soon. Moving on to reports from finance and administrative actions. Number one, the balance sheets for June 2024 should have been on request, members. Number two, year-to-date budget reports, budget versus actual for June 2024 on request. Moving on to reports from parish or other governmental agencies, we have number one, Madam Clerk.
Balance sheet for June 2024 on request.
No reports.
Oh. Mr. Mike Tarantino to provide an update on professional economic services provided to the parish, all as authorized by resolution number 2021-27.1.
Mr. Tarantino, if you can just state your name and title for the record, please.
Mike Tarantino, President and CEO of the Iberia Industrial Development Foundation.
Welcome back.
Thank you, sir. So happy to be here, and I really appreciate the opportunity, as always, to address you. I've been asked to be brief, and I aim to please. So we're going to be very brief today, but I did want to run through a few things that are going on in our parish and a few economic statistics that I know as council members are important to you. So just I think we're getting the slideshow up and running there. Thank you so much. Okay, Iberia Parish retail sales. This is the greatest slide to start with. I'm so proud of all of our retailers, all of our restaurants, all of our merchants, and really proud of the folks that shop Iberia first. We preach that all the time, and so happy to report these statistics to you. In July of 2024, we spent in Iberia Parish $166,055,287. That was just short of the all-time record, which was just in April of $167 million. Folks, these are huge numbers, and they're resulting in a 20.8% sales tax collection increase over the last month. So don't worry about that. When you spend your dollars here and you get those retail sales where they are, it results in some significant sales tax collections across the parish, and that helps in a whole bunch of different ways. And so something very much to be proud of. It's over $30 million more than this time last year, and about $20 million more than the month before. So great retail sales numbers. Hats off to our merchants and our businesses around the parish. Iberia Parish monthly unemployment rate, it spiked up just a little bit in June. That was the last confirmed numbers that we have at 4.7%. It was about 4.8% last June, so you can tell, I've always said it, it spikes up. Our unemployment rate is very strong, very good. It spikes twice each year, one after grinding season and one after the school year lets out and all the students are come back into the workforce. And so I expect that number to go back down into the threes, around 3.6 or 3.7% in July. So very strong numbers, and we continue. And again, there are merchants and businesses all over our parish who are looking for skilled workers. Now, I encourage you to check out our website, Iberia Industrial Development Foundation, and look under job opportunity alerts. There are jobs all over Iberia Parish right now, so we encourage folks to get into the workforce. And if you need skills, Sola CC has some great courses right now that can get you skilled up and let you get into that workforce. And so really, really strong employment numbers and low employment rates across our parish. Moving right along. Acadiana Regional Airport monthly operations. Great things happening at Acadiana Regional Airport right now. The last numbers we have from July of 2024, last month, were 3,698 operations, which is up significantly from last year. Mr. Sanji, the airport director, reported that they anticipate that they'll make 50,000 operations in 2024 at our local airport. That's significant, and that'll be some of the highest numbers in the state as it pertains to operations. So our airport right here in Iberia Parish is one of the busiest airports in the state by operations. Moving right along, monthly rig counts. The monthly rig count number and the next one, which will be drilling permits, are while they're a bit higher, and You could tell they're a little lower than over the past couple of months. But oil and gas is, continuing to suffer as far as monthly rig counts and monthly permits. I know there've been a lot of regulation changes at our state level with the new administration to try to fix that. And I'll be very happy to see when we start having more oil and gas leases in the Gulf of Mexico and get more oil and gas business down here. These numbers are steady, but they're much lower than they have been in the past. So when you're talking about monthly rig counts and monthly drilling permits, it's good to see 50, but we'd like to see that up in the 100 level in order to get that, make that strong again. It's a result in some cases of the Louisiana monthly crude oil price. You can see the number there, $81.59 in June. The spot price today was $76.98. So a little lower than we'd like to see, but still strong and still strong from an oil and gas perspective. There's your natural gas prices, $2.60, 66 cents a unit. It's actually a little lower today at $2.14. So low gas and low oil prices, we'd certainly like to see those things improve over time. But good, solid activity at the Port of Iberia. Some recent announcements that are coming on over there. They're doing a great job at the Port of Iberia, and a lot of reasons to be optimistic. I realize I'm moving very fast, but here we go. So First Solar, the project is moving along very strong. If you go out there, I encourage you, if you haven't been out there, to see it. I call it the Great Wall of Iberia Parish. It's a great facility, and it's coming along quick. They're going to be done by the end of 2025, and they are on track to make it happen. First Solar is hiring now. I encourage all of your constituents to go to firstsolar.com and look at their hiring plan. They're hiring right now and in big ways, and they're adding more jobs every day. Same thing goes for Delta Biofuel. Great facility that's located right between MA Pat 2 and Highway 90. They're hiring now as well, deltabiofuel.com. You can see their hiring plan. They're going to be producing bagasse pellets very soon. I think in the fourth quarter, they've got deliveries to make, and so we're going to see that plant firing up here very quickly. AVEX, Aviation Exteriors at the airport, is moving forward with their hangar project. There were some recent announcements of some federal grants and other things, and so I think those funds are coming together. I think they're still working toward that. But the reason why I bring that up is I passed by the other day, 3 hangars. All 3 of those hangars were full, and there were 6 heavy jets on the ramp. It's hard to fit 6 heavy jets on that ramp, meaning they're very busy, busting at the seams. My hat's off to AVEX for that, and we look forward to being able to expand their facilities out there as well. UL's Bioinnovation Center, the Phase 1 project, is moving forward on schedule. And the Crime Lab project, encourage folks to go check out that construction. It's moving forward, and it's my understanding it's on schedule as well. So it's a great day in Iberia Parish, good things going on. We're working very closely. Mr. President Richard mentioned before that we've got some good businesses and prospects that we're talking with right now. I appreciate, as always, the teamwork with the administration, working very closely with them. And with that, I'll open any questions.
Are there any questions for Mr. Tarantino at this time? We do have one by Councilmember Landry.
Just a question, Mike.
Yes, sir.
And I know our rig count then went down. Do we have any idea how many wells was drilled during that time period?
So the numbers that I show, please keep this in mind. The numbers that I report to you each month are the Louisiana rig counts and the Louisiana permits. Those are not deep water and offshore rigs beyond the shallow water. Those count land rigs and shallow water rigs. And so the number that you see, which is the rig count, is just that. That's the number of wells that are currently producing on state land and in state waters. That number for May was 44. So there are 44 active rigs on Louisiana land and in shallow water.
The gentleman from District 2 yields back. The gentleman from District 10 on the question.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, Mike, for all the work you do. Piggyback on the airport stuff, I went right around the airport Friday and checked out all the things you just mentioned. It's really something to see. I encourage everybody, if you get a chance, just go right out there and see all the progress that's going out in that one area of the parish.
Thank you.
Could you look at the whole building without turning your head all the way?
You can definitely not. Definitely not. It is massive, and I don't think people realize how big this building really is.
And I think, what's the percentile right now? We're about 30-something%?
Somewhere in that area.
So, I mean, think of 3 more times that has got to...
And I passed by the criminalistic lab. Them boys are blowing and going right there, and I seen the whole AVEX thing. it's really just something to see at our airport.
The
Which this
gentleman-
could have happened 20 years ago, and we'd be sitting real well right now.
Councilman Pellerin yields back. Councilman Broussard is recognized.
Yeah, can you give an update on the Freeman Center as well to the folks? I don't.
The what? I'm sorry?
Freeman, the center, the Welcome Center?
Oh, sorry, Freeman Jet Center. That's
I
the
didn't hear
fixed,
you
the
mention anything. I know it's probably part of the.
Yes, of course. So that's the airport fixed base operator, the new flight center that's going on out there. They were originally going to spend about $2 million. They're up to about $7 million that they're investing in that facility now. Was just out there yesterday. It's very close to being done right now. Spectacular facility. I encourage folks who like to fly to put ARA on your list because it's going to be a great welcoming center with a lot of great facilities and a lot of good things, and it'll bring a lot more traffic to the airport. But I would say, I'm no general contractor, but I think they're about 80% done.
The gentleman yields back. I don't see any other questions. I have one for you, Michael.
Yes, sir.
Rhetorical question.
Sure.
I've been here nearly 9 years. Can you say we're better off today than we were when we came here in 9 years, as far as to see the growth, the activity happening? We talked about the jewel in the rough there at the airport. If we could ever get that off the ground, how good would it be? Are we starting to see that now?
I know that was a rhetorical question, but absolutely yes. It's a great day in Iberia
Yeah,
Parish.
you know
There's some
what,
great
yeah.
things going on, and we need to be proud of that.
You know, a lot of times we hear the negative in the parish, but now when you dig deeper, you can see a lot of positively things happening in the parish. And it's because of collaboration between public entities and people like yourself that get out there and sell the parish day in and day out. So, Mike, kudos to you. Thank you for all you do for us.
Thank you, sir.
Wait,
Appreciate
we
it.
have one more question
Just
from Mr.
to
Pellerin.
add on what I said earlier, I did ride by Grand Prairie too. That's another place to look at.
Oh, we probably can, another 5 more minutes, we can, at least another 2 or 3 projects that are happening.
Well, we'll bring that up next report.
That's a big project.
Thank you, Mr. Tarantino. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
We'll go back to your screen. Okay, members, moving on to Public Works reports. Number 1, Madam Clerk.
1 second. Public Works Department report for closed work orders dated July 10th through 23rd, 2024.
You should have received that by email, members. Special business, there is none. Consent agenda items for public hearing and adoption. We have the minutes of regular meeting July 10th, 2024. Note this item was deferred at the July 24th, 2024 Iberia Parish Council meeting. Also have the regular meeting minutes of July 24, 2024. And then we have summary number 139, introduced by Laura Brown in District 4, Madam Clerk.
A resolution of condolences to the family of Mr. Robert Lee Richard, brother of Parish President M. Larry Richard, who passed away on July 16, 2024.
Summary number 140, introduced by Lady Brown of District 12.
A resolution of condolences to the family of Senior Corporal Segus R. Jolivet, a Lafayette police officer who passed away on July 25, 2024.
Summary number 141, introduced by the Parish President.
A resolution to amend 2024 General Fund and Public Building Maintenance Fund budgets in the amount of $121,834 to appropriate funding to improve the courthouse facade by installing LED lighting, refurbishing 2 fountains, and landscaping, all to be funded with federal ARPA lost revenue funds, which will all be transferred from the general fund.
Do you have a motion to open consent agenda items? I have that motion by Councilman Broussard, second by Councilman Brown. Councilman Broussard on discussion.
Y'd like to remove summary number 141.
For what purpose does gentleman seek recognition to remove?
Discuss with the council.
Without objection. Is that all for you?
Yes, sir.
The second by Councilman Brown on discussion.
I'll wait.
Councilwoman Brown.
140 and
Full-
request summary number 140,
For what purpose?
to request a unanimous second.
Unanimous second. Is there any objection? Hearing and seeing none. Members, is there anyone else on the request? I do have one by Councilman Pellerin.
I'd like to pull summary 139.
So I have a request by Councilman Pellerin to remove 139. For what purpose does the gentleman do?
Seek a unanimous second.
All right, is there any objection to that, members? Hearing and seeing none. So to vote on the consent agenda items will just be the regular meeting minutes of July 24th and then the meeting minutes of July 10th. Is that okay with everybody? Is there any discussion on that, members? Hearing and seeing none, vote your machines. Councilman Brown. That motion carries unanimously. Now back to summary number 139, introduced by Lloyd Brown of District 4. Do I have a motion, members? I have a motion by Councilman Pellerin, second by Councilman Trahan. Councilman Pellerin, discussion.
Just like to request a unanimous second on this one.
Okay, I'm gonna hold that and come back to you after the main motion discussion. I have a second on the floor by Councilman Trahan. Discussion? Anybody on main motion discussion, members? Hearing and seeing none, I have a floor motion by Councilman Pellerin for unanimous second. Is there any objection to that, members? Hearing and seeing none, vote your machines on unanimous second. Final adoption 139. That motion carries unanimously. Moving on to summary number 140, introduced by Lady Brown of District 12. Do I have a motion? I have a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Broussard, second by Councilwoman Brown. Councilwoman Broussard on discussion.
After discussion, I'd move for a unanimous second.
Gentlewoman from District 6 yields back. The gentlewoman from District 12 is recognized.
Yes, I just wanted to make mention that Corporal Jolivet actually lost his life in the line of duty on July 24th in General, Louisiana during like a standoff. So just to add that information. I yield back.
The gentlewoman from District 12 yields back. Is there anyone else on main motion discussion, members? Hearing and seeing none, I have a floor motion on the floor by Councilwoman Broussard for unanimous second. Is there any objection, members? Hearing and seeing none, vote your machines on final adoption of summary number 140 with a unanimous second. That motion carries unanimously. Moving on to summary number 141, introduced by the parish president. Do I have a motion? Have a motion on the floor by Councilman Rossini, and a second by Councilman Broussard. Councilman Rossini on that discussion.
The first day we go live.
You gotta give them something to laugh about. Keep them entertained.
I can take it. Let's roll.
At least I didn't call you Scott Saunier.
That would
Pretty-
be a mistake.
Oh, watch out now.
Not Sonia.
Councilman Rossini on discussion?
No way.
Wait. Councilman Broussard?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Larry, you must have microphones in the front of the courthouse. About a month ago, me and my boys were walking up to get our passports done for them. And my 8-year-old goes, Daddy, why these fountains don't work? I said, I don't know. It's a damn good question. I'm asking Mr. Larry. Maybe he can fix something. So, 2 weeks later, whatever, we get this thing. I'm like, I'm telling you, you got microphones in the front. The thing I'm having trouble with, it's the ARPA, we want to use it on infrastructure, right? I think we got a few more months. We got a lot of projects, like you mentioned earlier, a lot of infrastructure projects that we haven't gotten to the finish line or even halfway through, even started. I'm worried that, and we don't have a lot of money left. We only got a few $100,000 for, after this, we only have $292. I think I asked Ms. Kim for the report.
Close.
My concern is that things creep, right? When projects start, things creep. Something's going to pop up between now and then. I think, am I right? We have to spend this money by the end of
26.
So
You have to
we got to
spend
allocate
it
it.
by
So we still have a few more months, right?
You have, you have until
Before we hit-
December before you have to actually have it allocated to be spent.
Okay, so we still got
And a contract signed.
Okay.
So that's the tricky part, is that you have the contract signed, so which means you have to go out for bid and have it signed by the end of the year.
By the end of this year?
Yes, sir.
That's correct.
You don't have to have the money spent, Brian, until the end of '26, but you have to have the contract signed. So what you're gonna probably find, to be directly straight with you, the funds that we're not gonna have, which won't be much, we probably gonna look to try to bring that directly back to the general fund and use it from there. But whatever projects you're planning on doing, you have to go out for bid and have the contract signed.
Okay. And I'll get, August, we got a few more months. I guess it doesn't sound like you're going to be able to have the time to get something like this done if we waited a month or two. Because again,
I think
we got some other projects. We don't have a lot left in the piggy bank, right?
No.
It's money that we don't know if we'll ever get again.
That's exactly right.
This type of money's maintenance that we normally would be taking care of out of the public building fund.
And
And we don't have a lot in there.
take a look at what it looks like today, because we have not been able to maintain it.
Right.
That's right.
And one thing
That's right.
I would like to pass on to the council is that this is a historic building that we have. And in my opinion, we need to try to keep this building looking like a historic building. So while we have an opportunity, like your kid said, if I'm not mistaken, these fountains haven't worked in 40 years. A long, 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 long time, from what they're telling me. Of course, I've never seen them work. So we need to try to make sure that we keeping this building up to par and get this building where it's at. When you look at the building right now, one of the things you'll be hearing from me in future is that we're gonna be putting money in the budget to get this building actually pressure washed every other year, so you won't have to spend as much money painting the building. We got a lot that we're looking to do in this parish. We got this parish pretty well at a point right now in business where we understand what we need to do to keep it going. So, Marcus, that was just something that we feel we need to do with this historic building. And we don't have a lot of time because we're in August, by the time we go out for bid, get everything squared away, go through legal, and have to have it signed, the contract signed by December. If you want to push it back, you can do that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
me personally, I'd rather wait with all these other projects going on to make sure that we don't have, that he may have to come back and ask for money for some other project. And again, this isn't really related to the infrastructure that we kind of had it designed for or ready for, so that's where I'm having trouble with it. Again, my son's gonna be mad at me if the water fountain doesn't work. Like, maybe other constituents would be, right? But, there's so many other things I just think that
Now,
this
keep
maybe
in
could wait a
mind,
little
some of
while.
those projects that you're talking about, they're already into third phases on some of those
Exactly.
projects.
Right.
That you'll start to see, maybe some of those water sector projects will come back for punch lists, and they'll start to see those final phases on that. I know Brad's, you could start to look at some of the rehabilitations of our lift stations and the generator purchasings. Those are probably, I think, about 80% complete on those projects right now.
The
So
one thing I don't want, if you postpone this, the only thing I don't want you to do is if we don't have all of that money allocated and signed with contract this year, don't come at me, because I'm trying to get it done.
Understood. I'm just having trouble with it for
All
that
right.
reason. I'm
Thank
good.
you.
completely understand. The gentleman from District 3 yields back. The gentleman from District 10 is recognized.
I'm kind of with Marcus. I really like to maybe wait. I know for sure, the fountains don't bother me, but I know for sure we do need better lighting in the front of the courthouse for sure. I'm just having a hard time, kind of like what Marcus said, spending the money that we took that's supposed to be going to infrastructure on a building. I support the project, but I don't know if I can support it tonight.
Okay.
The gentleman from District 10 yields back. The gentleman from District 11 is recognized.
So, obviously, you wouldn't have put it on there if it wasn't legal to do it. So, but I'm gonna ask you anyway,
Absolutely.
because I think my thoughts were, there were certain things that the ARPA money could be used for.
Oh, yeah, it certainly could be used for
So,
this, absolutely.
what I thought was it sewer, water, broadband? So did the government extend that to
No.
where you can
No,
do
you-
this?
You can actually use it for this here, Brian. We actually can take this money and bring it directly to the general fund if we wanted to do that.
And we've done that.
And we've done that. You already
So
actually.
without a project in mind?
Well, this is lost revenues.
That's called lost revenues,
Yeah.
yes. Right.
So you
right,
gotta tag it with a project.
Right, that's right.
right?
That's exactly right. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
So if you tag it with a project, does that mean you still have to have all that in place? I mean, you
Well,
already said it, obviously, you
Yeah,
have to
everything
have
is-
it
everything
done
is-
by the
Oh,
end of
absolutely. Yes, sir.
2024,
Right.
right?
That is correct.
Attorney?
Yeah, so basically the rules were very confusing.
The mic.
The rules were very confusing when they were initially released, and over time, the federal government gave more and more guidance and basically eased up on a lot of the restrictions that were early on. So what you're remembering about sewer, water, broadband, that was absolutely front and center at the very beginning. And we did put a lot of resources towards those things. But in terms of being able to do this project with these funds, you can.
And air quality was one of them. I mean, other municipality and parish governments are using it for quality of life deals. I mean, I think I seen the city might be doing stuff to storm prevention on trailers or structure prevention on trailers. So, I mean, there's a lot of, the problem we have in here is at some point, we're gonna have issues if we don't allocate the rest
No,
of the
no,
dollars.
and look, I think this is a very worthwhile cost. The only thing
You can-
is that there is nothing else, sewer, something that maybe we could maybe use that 21,000 before this? I mean, I'm all good with this.
What
I'm
was
just
done-
wonder if there, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I
No,
shouldn't
no, no,
interrupt.
no, go ahead.
What we have done as far as like sewer, Brian, we have a 3.4 million, I think it's 3.4, I don't have the money, the budget in front of me. I think we're taking $3.4 million that we had allocated to the post-evacuation center, if you remember, $3 million. And we're using that towards sewer project, matching dollars. We're gonna have to get that bid done before the end of this year. So what I did is I worked with our delegation to try to get the bid done before this year and use the 3.4 as the 25% match. And next year, during session through capital outlay requests, we're gonna be requesting an additional 8 plus whatever the 3.4 million is to finish doing some sewer work in Iberia Parish. What we haven't done in Iberia Parish, in my opinion, is try to do things like take care of what we currently have, make things right. This building that we have in Iberia Parish, you might see when it get a little bit closer, which it would have to take place in the next couple of weeks, where I come back, if I can find something, and say, do whatever for X amount of dollars. But what you're gonna probably hear from me before it's all over is for you to move those dollars to general. And, because we'll be complete with the project, and then when we move it to general, we don't have to get a contract signed while you went out for bid.
I got you.
So I think we're in good shape where we're at to do what we're
Okay.
doing.
And the unique part about this is, remember, water sector was about improvements. We couldn't expand.
Right,
And so we actually
Right,
took
right.
that $3 million and we were able to go and expand lines and offer more services down Highway 14, 675.
So you feel, just for the record, that,
I'm sorry, yeah, go ahead, Brian.
no, but you feel that, for the record, that
This is legit?
No, I'm not saying it's not legit. No, is that there's not a more important project that we could spend that money on in the time we have left? I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I'm just
okay.
wanting to make sure we
I think
we
spent.
prioritizing right.
I think we
right?
are. I think we're prioritizing it
Okay.
extremely right. Another thing I want to pass on to you is that when you take a look at the courthouse and the sidewalks that's going all around, we're redoing that. We're redoing that with money that we're getting from capital outlay. And that's going to be probably, how much is that estimating that to cost? $400,000+.
Yeah.
And
But
what
we
we're
gotta
trying
take
to
care
do.
of our house, right.
We have to.
Yeah.
And not only that is because of the lawsuits that we're getting. We have to protect ourselves, you know, so.
No, I'm
If
good.
something
I just-
would happen, Brian, between now and the next, I would say, when August, in the next month and a half, that would change for the remaining dollars, I would come to the council and say, let's use this 200,000 to do whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you right now, it's probably gonna be coming to you saying, move this back into
So
the
you
general
do
fund.
have a plan to make sure that we spend it all
That's what I'm
right here in
after.
Iberia
That's-
Parish?
He's on me for that.
Okay.
Yeah, he is on me.
Stay on him,
Yeah.
Scott.
He, that's
No,
his
I'm
deal.
good.
right.
Thank you, Mr.
The
Richard.
gentleman
That's
from
what I-
District
thank you.
11 yields back. The gentlewoman from District 6 is recognized.
Mr. Richard,
Yes.
is all of the money, the ARPA funds that we have left in the lost revenue funds?
Is all what?
Is all of it in the lost revenue section?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, as I understand, that can all just be transferred to the general fund?
Absolutely.
So there is no immediate need to get contracts signed before December because we can just put it in the general
If you
fund?
put everything in the general fund, you can do that. However, we're gonna have to be careful because there's a dollar amount, a max dollar amount that we can put, but perhaps we could.
Do we know what that max
$10
dollar
million.
amount is? Hmm?
$10 million.
10 million is the max?
I think it is, yeah.
But we don't,
And we only put like 2-point-something million there so far.
So we're
we
not-
could, if that's what you wanted to do, put it into general fund, which I just finished telling you that, you can do that as
Right.
well. I'm simply trying to preserve, I'm just simply trying to get the parish courthouse to look like a presentable parish courthouse is all I'm doing. If you decide that you don't want to do the improvements on the building, you simply don't do it.
I
And
mean-
just like you're gonna hear me come back later, not hear me come back, we got monies that's coming in from capital outlay to do the sidewalks. And if we ever need any additional dollars, that's gonna be coming from the general fund. Public buildings, as you already know, Natalie,
well,
is
it
about
is. Public
slim to
buildings
none.
in trouble. We have a lot of funds that are there, and that's why, I mean, I'm kind of with Brian as far as the priority, and maybe we shouldn't rush to do this. We can transfer it to the general fund and make sure we're have the money that we need for those things, emergency repairs and things like that. I mean, because we don't have to have a contract on these funds by December.
You do not have to have a contract if you're not planning on doing a project.
We can just put it in the general fund.
Yes, the more, and yeah, you surely could.
Thank you, Mr.
You're
Chairman.
welcome.
Councilman Trahon?
Mr. Rushford, I was just curious, once you get something approved by us to go forward, what's the time frame on the average it takes to get bids in and get prices in and get contracts signed?
Well, if we approve, typically, once we get it back from the council, you sign everything, you get with Michael Broussard, he'll deal with the contractor or the architect. In this particular case, we've already dealt with the architect, so we know exactly. You go out for bids, probably 45 days, a person to mobilize. We probably can have it done in about 2.5 months.
So it takes a little while to get that
Oh,
process
yeah,
done.
oh, absolutely.
The gentleman from District 8 yields back. The gentleman from District 13 is recognized.
So these dollars were here before I got on, but can we use these for like these houses that we need to get torn down, or like to kind of
For what?
to enforce like the nuisance in the junkyards and kind of kickstart that? And then
Typically, what we have done, as you already know, for the most part, the dollars that we have with ARPA funds was infrastructure. That's really and truthfully what we did. Now we're down to the very, very end of what we have left. So what I thought we would try to do is do projects that needed to be done years ago that we didn't have the funds to get done. So that's why this is here. This is something that we've been talking about doing for many, many years. But we do not have funds in, for example, like in a building fund where you can actually get this type of stuff done.
Okay.
The gentleman from District 3 is recognized.
Yeah, I think we got budgets coming up here in a minute, like you spoke earlier. I think we need to really look at public buildings. This third or fourth time in the last couple of months has come up where we have these public buildings, we have issues there, right? Sugar Cane Festival building, not being able to take care of this place like we should. The sheriff's ceiling, right? That we had to pull out of ARPA for as well.
Say that again, the what?
The jail. I'm sorry, the sheriff building, the jail.
The jail, what about it?
We spent money getting that fixed up, right? So all these things are supposed,
Yeah.
we're supposed to be able to maintain out of the public building fund, which obviously we don't have enough funds. So we really need to look at a lot of the buildings that we have. We still haven't, there's a lot of liabilities out there. The Sugar Cane Festival building, we had a good discussion on. This is a great discussion. When we get into budget, there's still buildings that we pay for, that we don't get a lot of use, the people don't get a lot of use out of. It's killing us. And that could have been money, the $100,000 with the Sugar Cane Festival building could have maybe taken care of a lot of this if we'd have been able to move it years ago whenever
And
we
I
talked
give
about.
a
I'm
can.
just, something we're gonna have to talk about maybe in budget, but I'm good.
The gentleman from District 3 yields back. The gentleman from District 10 is recognized.
Yeah, I won't say I'm speaking on behalf of one of Brian's constituents, but I know if he's here, he probably would say something. Is there anything in here that for a handicap ramp?
Absolutely. The sidewalks is for that, but no, not with this particular, not with this. But
Yeah,
I think
I seen 3 names move off, so I wonder if that was all gonna ask. I was just.
I mean, if Bush was here, he'd ask the question.
Oh, no, he definitely.
If I can, I want to concur with what Marcus said. The funds that we have for the building funds is getting really, really, really down. And my rationale behind this was to actually use some funds that we have now to do what we're trying to do with this courthouse. So we're looking at things, we're saying things a little bit different. I think we're all saying the same thing in the end. But listen, it's up to you guys. At the end of the day, I bring things up to you. If you don't want to get it done, move on, and I go to something else.
Councilman Pellerin, you still have the floor.
I'm done.
Okay. The gentleman yields back. Anyone else on the main motion discussion, members? Hearing none, I guess there's no motion.
Let's go.
Vote your machines, members. Final adoption, summary number 141 as publicized. That motion carries. Moving on to ordinances introduced for public hearing and adoption, there is none. Resolutions introduced for public hearing and adoption. We have summary number 135, introduced by our Regional Planning Commission.
A resolution granting preliminary and final plat approval to a subdivision of property belonging to Sandy Saunier located at Booty Road, Iberia Parish in District 9, to subdivide 10 acres of property into 10 lots for residential use, subject to compliance with Planning Commission Staff Report PC 2024-0007, all as reviewed without recommendation by the Iberia Parish Regional Planning Commission. Note, this item was deferred at the July 24th, 2024 Iberia Parish Council meeting.
Do I have a motion? I have a motion on the floor by Councilman Rossini, second by Councilman Pellerin. Councilman Rossini on discussion.
Waive with the motion to delete after.
Got you. Second by Councilman Pellerin.
Yeah, Jacob, I talked to Jacob on this when he called me this week or whatever. I'm with, Councilman Rossini, to delete this item.
Councilman Pellerin yields back. Councilman Trahan is recognized.
Yeah, I was just wondering, I didn't see Jacob or the gentleman here.
That's
Figured it
because,
was going up.
because he wanted to delete
Killing
it.
it?
They wanted to kill it last week.
Sonia,
Well, no, go ahead. That's good. I mean, you go ahead and answer.
another Sonia.
We're just gonna kick back and I guess rethink his whole thought process.
Oh, good,
and then
good.
go from there.
They're not paying.
Yeah,
2
So it's
years,
deleted?
5
a little
years.
bit confused, I think, and didn't have a plan, so. Okay,
Okay.
so good deal. All
They
right,
didn't
thank
know
you.
it go like this.
Okay, so you're gonna waive your request to talk at this point? I still you.
Yeah. Wait.
Councilman Pellerin is recognized.
I'm good, I'm good.
All right, anybody else in the main motion discussion? Members had a motion on the floor to delete by Councilman Rossini. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Pellerin. Any discussion on deletion? Members hearing and seeing none, vote your machines to delete summary number 135 as publicized. That motion carries. Summary number 135 is deleted. Moving on to summary number 142, introduced by the parish president.
A resolution to amend the 2024 General Fund and Public Building Maintenance Fund budgets in the amount of $122,632 to appropriate additional funding for courthouse inmate elevator based on architect's probable cost with operating transfers between funds, all to be funded from fund balance previous years of general fund.
Do I have a motion? I have a motion on the floor by Councilman Napier. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Trahan. Councilman Napier on discussion.
Sir Richard, can you,
Tell you what's going on there?
yes, please?
Yeah. We actually have from capital outlay, we got $171,900 to do this particular elevator. It's gonna cost more money than that, of course, and then we have a 25% matching cost, which is gonna be more than that. So we need another $122,000, I think is what it is right here.
Yeah, yeah.
To actually complete the job. This is the, and what's going on, this is the old elevator, and the shaft is, these elevators are old. So this is almost a special design and built deal to make it work, so.
So when they say the inmate, so what is the use? Can you explain
Yeah,
the
I
use
sure
for
will.
everybody?
I'm actually glad that you're saying that. And I know we're live, so you gotta go and say it real.
Yeah, say it
So-
right.
So what's happening is, when you get your inmates that's come out from, where the sheriff department may bring them, and they walk in to the courthouse from the basement, when you walk into the courthouse from the basement, you turn right. When you
Correct.
get through the doors and you come and you catch your
To the
elevators.
elevator.
The inmates actually keep straight, there's another door. And that's a room, that's an elevator that just the inmates and the sheriff person use to bring them to the first floor.
To the courtroom,
To the second floor, yes.
to go to court?
So they don't interfere with whomever is around, because it creates
I
a
got you.
huge problem. So what's happening now, for the last years, we've actually been having our security people come down to make sure when you're bringing your inmates in, they're not mixing up with anyone.
With, yeah, with the public, yeah.
the public,
Okay,
yeah.
so that's, and so that elevator
That's gonna
is-
take care of that. This thing has been out, Brian,
Oh, it's for.
for years and years and
Yeah,
years.
right. So what do they, maybe I shouldn't ask that. Never mind,
Okay.
never mind. I'm gonna leave that alone.
The gentleman from District 11 yields back. The gentleman from District 8 is recognized.
Yeah, you.
Any other main motion discussion? Members hearing and seeing none, vote your machines on final adoption. Summary 142 as publicized.
Once and not once.
That motion carries unanimously. Moving on to summary number 143, introduced by the Register of Voters.
A resolution to amend the 2024 general fund budget and the amount of $3,952 to appropriate partial year funding to reinstate the civil service position for Iberia Parish Registrar of Voters Office, all to be funded from fund balance previous years.
Have a motion on the floor by Councilman Brown, second by Councilman Napier. Councilman Brown on discussion?
Yeah, this is something we have to do. I'll yield to,
Yeah.
Ms. Blanchard, if you want to,
come up and give us, I know where this is going.
if you could just state your name and title, please.
Good afternoon, Christy Blanchard, Register of Voters. Yes, I really would appreciate if y'all could approve this resolution so that I can fill my civil service position. Needed just, due to opening a new early voting site and getting someone in there to start training them. This would be a great year because we have a big fall election, so, yeah.
Mr. Brown, will you finish?
That's good.
Mr. Brown yields back. Councilman Napier on discussion.
I'm with Christie. I'm gonna support this.
Councilman Napier yields back. No other, I don't see anybody else on the board. Do have a question for you.
Yeah.
We do have some amendments coming up tonight that could possibly open additional ones. Would you need an additional position if any other ones came out of committee of full council?
Maybe.
Well, I mean, I'm just,
Yes. I mean, I don't know if it's a good time to discuss about that, but yeah, we would. I
Okay.
mean,
and the reason I'm saying that is, I guess when we get into the debate, let's keep in mind that when we do the funding, if we do decide the funding mechanism, we know we may need an additional personnel in that office,
Right.
okay?
Okay.
Is that fair to say?
yes.
We may have a question for you. Hold on one second. Councilwoman Bruce Orr is recognized.
Ms. Blanchard, you said that this is
So,
needed because of the new early voting site? I mean,
well, it's not needed. It's just whenever my civil service position person left, I never filled it. Okay? That position is paid half and half, 50% by the state and 50% by parish government. I'm a working registrar. I want to work while I'm here. I don't want to sit and twiddle my thumbs. So, we work. But with things changing, I do have someone considering retiring, so I want someone in my office to train. With so much happening with the new early voting site and the big elections, and then plus the state putting more responsibilities on our office, now would be a good time for me to fill that position, to start training them. Because you can't train a person in a year's time with everything we do. So, I'm ready to fill it.
how long has it been vacant?
Almost 2 years.
Okay. So it's not just for the early voting?
No,
site.
no, no. No,
There's-
it's for-
There's many other
Yes.
tasks that this person would be doing and needed for.
Yes. Yeah, not just for the early voting site.
The gentlewoman from District 6 yields back. I do have a question for you. On a general precinct, what is the cost to run a general precinct? during a general election?
$3,300.
How much?
$3,300.
And before we did redistricting, how many how many precincts we had? 64, correct?
64.
How many we down to now?
55, 53, 55, 55.
55. So we've saved,
53, I'm sorry. 53, we got rid of 3.
so 11 precincts then, right?
We dropped 11.
We dropped 11 precincts, right? And you said an
Yes.
average cost savings of how much?
3,300.
It's 3,300 is what the state will tell you what it costs,
Okay.
I mean, it varies, but that's the cost they would tell
And
you.
the only reason I'm saying that is there's been criticism drawn over the new, how much
Yeah.
this cost is gonna be overall for this precinct. So $36,300 we saved on that, and we appropriated 10,000, which we know it's not gonna be 10,000 just for this election coming up. So I just wanna clarify that, because there's been a lot of misinformation out there about us overspending on a precinct. But Councilman Pellerin,
You pretty much just said
the cost savings measure?
no with the other precinct. I'm good.
Cool. Councilman Rossining is recognized?
Just to add, me and Ms. Blanchard talked about her needing this position. If I remember right, this was before you planted your corn. And the reason I remember that is because we were talking about possibly buying some corn. So this was actually needed almost a year ago, 9 months. I want to say it was in February, we might have talked about this. So it has nothing to do with really the early votes. I think it might have something to do with going forward, but.
Well, it's just, so what's gonna, I mean, I don't know if this is the right time to talk about it. So when the early voting site's gonna be run for this election coming up, okay? One of my full-time staff, myself or my two other employees, will have to be there, okay? So then it takes away from us here. Now, granted, the state allows commissioners to come in, and I have part-timers and stuff. But I'm just saying that this position I'm asking for on this summary, on this resolution, you know, I want to fill my civil service position so I can start training them, you know, so they can experience this big election and stuff. So, you know, so if I'm going to Generate, I will need some, you know, this other person would be able to be there to start to assist, along with all the other employees I have, plus commissioners I'm gonna bring in.
Councilman Ralston, are you finished? Councilman Ralston, he yields back. Councilman Trahan is recognized.
Yeah, Christie, so that's my question I want to clear up. If we were to put more than one early voting site besides the one in Generate, you would need somebody with the same position again for that one?
Possibly, yeah, possibly, yeah.
And is that a full-time?
So it just depends on, you know, what y'all would, I mean, I don't know if y'all want to talk about the other resolution that's coming, okay, yeah. So possibly, yes, yes.
It would be full-time or part-time?
It could be part-time.
Part-time.
It doesn't look like we have anybody else on the board. Parish President Reese?
Yes, the full-time position that we've been talking about, we've been talking about that for quite some time, like Scott said. So you're saying that if the parish council approved another early voting precinct, you would have to hire another person in your office in conjunction with the one that we're gonna approve?
Not full-time, but I may ask in the budget for a part-time funding, and so that I could bring somebody in.
And we already have money in your budget for
Part-time? So, it used to be 500, this past year, Kim y'all approved 5,000.
That's what I'm getting
But I
at.
hadn't used it. I haven't used it, but I'll ask for it,
Okay,
because I
that's-
knew I didn't have my
so you-
civil service position in.
Right.
So,
So we good
Totally good.
for this election, anyway.
I think you're good. I don't answer for her. She run her own department.
So, I guess the question for me is now the 3,952 our share, and the state's matching the other 50% of that job description?
yes.
And even if we did have another precinct there, you'd still have to man or put a woman there running that precinct, correct?
Right, yes.
Okay. But I guess the difference is, just for the public's awareness, is we're 2 weeks instead of one election day, right? Because it's gonna be the difference, and somebody's gonna be there every day for early voting site for, is it 7 days?
It's
7
gonna be,
days, I'm
it's gonna be,
sorry.
well, a normal one is 7 days, but for presidential, it'll be 10.
10 days, okay. Thank you for clarifying that. All right, anybody else on main motion discussion, members? Hearing and seeing none, vote your machines on final adoption, summary number 143 as publicized. That motion carries unanimously. Moving on to summary number 144, introduced by Marcus Bruce Broussard of District 3.
A resolution to amend the 2024 general fund budget in the amount of $10,000 to appropriate funding for an engineering estimates, directing administration to file an insurance claim prior to the statute of limitations relative to the BNSF train derailment that occurred on August 21st, 2023, in which Airport Boulevard and Louisiana Highway 182 were damaged, all to be funded from fund balance previous years. The council may choose to go into executive session, pending litigation, Airport 111 Airport LLC versus BNSF Railway Company, 16th JDC, Parish of Iberia, docket number 141930, and James Jefferson Jr. versus BNSF Railway Company, 16th JDC, Parish of Iberia, docket number 141709, both relating to the train derailment that occurred on August 21st, 2023, at the intersection of Airport Boulevard and Louisiana Highway 182.
All right, members, before we open up, keep in mind anything we talk about, if it becomes the issue of litigation,
Yeah.
please, let's decide to go into executive session, okay?
Yeah.
Have a motion on the floor by Councilman Broussard, second by Councilman Pellerin. Councilman Broussard on discussion.
Yeah, I mean, we're probably just better off just going right into it, executive session in. What do you think, Bubba?
Yeah, I recommend that.
Okay.
Okay, let me go to, okay, I got a motion and a second by Councilman Pellerin. Motion by Broussard, second by Pellerin, that we go into executive session. Vote your machines, members. We'll let the chambers clear out. That motion carries. Let the record reflect that Councilman Napier was absent at voting. That motion carries unanimously. We're now back.
Just with regards to summary number 144, Parish Council went into executive session to discuss the resolution as posted in the agenda. After discussion, no action was taken. We're now returning to a regular session.
Do you have a motion to open up summary number 144 for discussion? I have a motion on the floor by Councilman Broussard, second by Councilman Fowler. Councilwoman Broussard on discussion.
Yeah, after general discussion, I'll offer an amendment.
There's no other main motion discussion.
Then I'd offer an amendment for the summary reading resolution to amend the 2024 general fund budget in the amount of $10,000 to appropriate funding for an engineering and/or property damage estimate, directing the administration to file a cross-claim prior to the statute of limitations relative to the rest of the language. That would be the extent of the amendment.
Do you have a second? Second by Councilman Pellerin. Any discussion on the main motion, on the substitute motion? Hearing and seeing none, vote your machines, members. That motion carries unanimously. Back to summary number 144 with the amendment. Vote your machines on final adoption. That motion carries unanimously. Now, moving on to summary number 145, introduced by Marcus Broussard of District 3.
A resolution on behalf of the Iberia Parish Government urging the Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development to implement a no-passing zone proceeding northbound on Louisiana Highway 182 when departing the city of New Iberia, Louisiana, through La Perouse Drive, and place signs at both directions as needed.
Do you have a motion? I have a motion on the floor by Councilman Broussard. Do you have a second? Second by Councilman Landry. Councilman Broussard on discussion. Second by Councilman Landry. Any main motion discussion, members hearing and seeing none, vote your machines on summary number 145 as publicized. That motion carries unanimously. Moving on to ordinances introduced for publication, there is none. Not sure why we have announcements here. Next council meeting for the general public will be August 28, 2024 at 6 o'clock. Please visit our Iberia Parish Government website at iberiaparishgovernment.com to complete the stormwater management survey and view adjudicated properties. I need a motion to adjourn. I have a motion by Councilman Brown, second by Councilman Carpel. Vote your machines, members, on adjournment. That motion carries unanimously. Members, you want to go straight or we go straight? All right. I now call the Iberia Parish Joint Committee meetings to order for Wednesday, August 14th, 2024. The current time now is 8:01. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Tommy Pollard. Michael Landry. Marcus Broussard. Lloyd Brown. Warren Goshenson.
Here.
Natalie Broussard. Here. Justin Swear. Here. James Trummer.
Here.
Scott Rawson. Rock Pellerin.
Here.
Brian Napier.
Here.
Lady Fontenette Brown. Cayman Hotel. Here. Chad Mutton.
13 members in the quorum. I need a motion to go into public comments. I have a motion by Councilman Rawson, second by Councilman Trahal. Vote your machines, members. Okay, press in voting. That motion carries unanimously. Let the record reflect that Councilman Broussard was absent at voting. Number one, comments from the general public on agenda items. Do we have any? Hearing and seeing none. Number two, comments from the general public on non-agenda items. We did not receive any. I need a motion to go back into regular session. I have that motion by Councilman Trahal, second by Councilman Pellerin. Vote your machines, members. Go back into regular session. That motion carries. Let the record reflect that Councilman Marcus Broussard is absent at voting. Starting with the Executive Committee.
about me, how young I was.
I don't know, I think he said how old y'all both were. Hi, Dustin? Yeah, I thought that's what I heard. Right?
We gonna call executive session into order. The time is now 8:04. Number one, discuss and consider a resolution amending the 2024 general fund budget for election expenses in the amount of $10,000 for establishing an early voting location in Laurelville, Louisiana for 2024 presidential election. Scott Ronsonet, District 9. I need a motion. I have one by Scott Ronsonet. I have a second by Warren Godgerson. Scott?
No, that's Lady Fontenette Brown.
That's
How
Lady
you
Fontenette.
read,
I
man?
seen, well, they had Warren up there first, so so somebody pressed
Well,
up.
you
I
won.
didn't press nothing.
Wait, it's me.
Oh, he did. It was Lady Fontenette. I have a second by Lady Fontenette Brown. Scott? Mike. That mic is on. My light's on now.
All right, here we go.
I gave Floyd to-
First, just for the conversation, the presidential election, we're gonna, if it goes through or doesn't go through, whatever, we're gonna scratch that, because you didn't make the time frame to begin with. So just get, I wanna say it was July 31st, if I remember right, on the memorandum of understanding. Now, as far as the money, this keeps getting brought up. Ms. Blanchard, I got a question for you, if you don't mind. Everyone keeps saying we opening a precinct. Are we, in effect, just extending the registrar's office?
Mike.
I know.
So, during early voting, the courthouse is considered to be,
Yeah. Your office, correct?
I have to hit some.
Hold on.
How about all
Shit.
council mics on?
It's on.
They on now.
So when you say a precinct, now it's on.
No, it's on.
So when you say a precinct, for early voting, the courthouse is considered a voting precinct for early voting. And what happens on election day, those votes is brought to the clerk's office as a a voting precinct, but it's the whole parish,
Yes.
if that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
So what I'm getting at is even if you open, like you did a Generette or a Laurelville, it's all one batch, correct? So you're
Correct.
not opening another precinct.
Right.
So let's clear that up. All we're doing is extending the registrar's office and giving it multiple addresses physically. And so if your staff is fully staffed, you may have some extra costs. It's not gonna be as much. It's
No.
like staying.
You gotta have to get the mic back to him.
Why is his mic
I don't know. My mic is on. Scott. I
Right
don't
here?
have- It's not, you don't even have a request on there. Open mics, open mics. They don't have open mics. All council mic,
It's green. Okay.
You just turned it off.
Now it's on.
Warren, what should it be
Hello?
on right here?
It's green.
Mic controls. Scott is green.
I mean, you can be okay with the Hollywood. You going to the Hollywood?
What's up?
It's
Try
on.
mine? Try mic?
It's on.
Well, that's the problem. You giving, whose mic?
I didn't give nothing. That just jumped up like that. It's not working.
Let's do this.
Oh,
All right, try now.
There we go.
That's it.
Turn them off.
This one's on. All right, let's go back to where we were in, so I remember exactly, but basically I asked you, your office becomes a precinct.
Okay.
And then if you open a Generette or a Lowerville or wherever else, it's still one precinct. So let's be careful how we say we open in multiple precincts, because we're not. The precinct is already established. All you're gonna do is you're gonna take the existing equipment, which you have normally 10 for a presidential election, you're gonna pull existing equipment, existing infrastructure, and you're gonna move it physically.
Well, not really. They may decrease my machines in my office, but like for Generette, you know, I'm getting 3 to 4 machines, but then I also have to, because it's gonna be a full voting precinct, so you know, you have all the other stuff that has to come, which was on that list, the laptops, the printers,
Yeah, that
all
was
that
the
other
initial
stuff.
cost.
Yeah, so then if you did have Lowerville, you would have to have the same thing. If it's a full, like, you know, you'd have to have 3 or 4 machines, laptops, printers, everything there too, to operate.
But-
Okay, for big elections, you know, they, like for president, it'll probably always be 10 days. Any other election, it'll be 7, or if it's just a tax election, then we can ask for 3 to 4 days to do early voting in those, Generette, Lowerville, you know, wherever. So, a scenario could be if, like Lowerville has, because they're a village, so they could possibly have a small tax there just for Lowerville. You could do get approval through Secretary of State to have a manual one done for that particular election, which wouldn't cost anything, because then I'd still keep the courthouse open. There wouldn't be a need to open Generette because there's nobody there, but then you have to get approval to make sure you don't. You could open up in Lowerville as a manual and have my staff and some commissioners go and just run it manually, because it's not as many voters. Because there's, 1,200 in Lowerville, in the village, that could possibly vote. You know, but it's because it would be just their vote. It's not the whole parish or anything.
I guess what I really want to know was, you have 10 machines normally for a
Yes,
presidential election. You're just gonna, I'm gonna go to Generette for a second, you're gonna pull 3 over there and leave you 7 here?
No, they still leaving me 10.
Oh, see, I thought we were just pulling
Well,
3.
since we've spoken, the state has told me how many I'm getting, so they still leaving me the 10. I'm gonna have 3 to 4 in Generette. We're going to Generette on Monday with the state, and you know, of course, if you do another in your side, it would probably be 3 or 4.
Who pays
too.
for those machines?
The state.
Okay, that's what I figured. So there's no initial cost, other than the 2 laptops and the line. There was one other
And then you
thing.
have printers, and you have,
Printer,
you know,
that's
just
what it was.
your
I knew
office
something.
supplies to operate.
But that was just initial cost. So the state's picking up most of this cost. The only thing you'll have is a person.
A person, like,
to go to- I'm going back to Generette because we already did it, to monitor and run
well,
the,
so you'll have more than one. You know, I'll have 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna have 5 people working there, but that's gonna be some absentee early voting commissioners plus staff working. Yeah.
okay. I was curious about because everybody keeps saying precinct. I wanted to make sure we cleared that up. That's really what I wanted to do. So it's not I wanted to clear up we're not open $3,300, $3,300, $3,300, $3,300. Because the Facebook Mafia, I think, believed that for some reason. So I just wanted to clear that up.
The what now? The fake mafia?
Facebook Mafia.
Oh, the Facebook mafia. I'm like, man, the mafia's in your
You good?
Oh, they probably are. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Lady, Cornette Brown.
Yeah, so I'm definitely in full support of this, Scott. I did want to just ask the council, were there any other districts that would like to consider having an early voting location? If so, we can actually, I think, include it here on this agenda item. Yield back.
You finished? Warren? I don't know. Your name just popped up. All right, I'll give it to the next one.
No, he needs his mic.
Oh, okay. All right.
His mic is not live.
You might need to give him my mic.
Say something.
He got it.
It's not on.
Yeah, it's on.
It is on?
Say something.
It's on, I don't know why it's not working.
No.
Try it now. It's green. I don't know what's happening here.
Let's go to the next person.
Use Lady
Cayman.
Brown mic.
So I've gotten a few calls about this one.
Talk on his mic.
Use
Try
Lady
it now.
Brown.
You want to go?
No, go first.
So I've gotten a few calls on this one on the other side of the parish.
Oh, okay, wait.
Don't touch nothing, let it go.
So I did a little research, and Laurelville is pretty much 12 miles east. Delcom is 12 miles west. And the calls that I've got was pretty much about kind of leveling the playing field, making it equal, you know, for everyone throughout the parish to go. So if I can, when it's time, I'd like to amend to add Delcom and go from 10 to 20. That's it, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, go ahead.
Chrissy, I did want to ask, I guess, a couple of questions about it. You had spoke earlier, just so that the public's awareness is there. Anybody can go to Lowerville that lives around the parish, right?
Correct.
So, I mean, when we refer to like 1,200 people in the village, it's not just open to 1,200 people in the village. It's open to all voters across the parish. Same in Jeanerette and same would be in Delcom, correct?
Correct. Just to clarify, when I said I used 1,200, I meant for like just the village of Lowerville's election, if they had a special election.
Okay.
For that, we could do manual. But to go on a whole, like for presidential, if we had one in Lowerville, Delcom, and Jeanerette, and here, all the 45,000 voters, they could choose which one they wanted to go to
Okay.
and vote. Yes.
So, there were some things that were put on Facebook that said we had to have at least 5,000 voters to be eligible for that precinct. Is that false?
No, that's not correct. I think the 5,000 number, it came from the state. They use that as a, to base if the approval possibly, is what maybe that is coming from. I mean, I have no clue.
No, I just wanted to know
Yeah.
if that threshold was correct and accurate.
No,
You know
the-
how Facebook is.
Yeah,
You can't
well, the
believe
Secretary of
everything.
State, takes a bunch of stuff into consideration before they approve it. So they have to do their
Gotcha.
homework before they approve it. And, I mean, that's what they would do with any area. As far as Jeanerette was further, it's 20 miles, so that was another reason, I'm sure that, the state approved based on the other reasons too, that
So I
lady
guess you
wanted to-
kind of got into my next question is if, even though we passed this tonight, the state has the final approval
correct,
of
yes.
what site can be.
Secretary of State has to, yes.
Uh,
They have to agree first, and then it comes to council to
So-
get the approval for the funding to
I
purchase the
guess
equipment.
part of the debate has been Iberia has always had the city of New Iberia, and I agree since I've been around. Would you agree that St. Mary has multiple early voting sites?
They have two, and they just got another one. They'll have three.
And would you agree that St. Martin Parish also has multiple voting sites?
They have
too?
two.
Early voting
They have
sites.
one and two, so two
Okay.
total.
So again, our population, would you agree that we have much more population than St. Mary and St. Martin, correct?
Voting wise, we have more voters.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to get. So again, I want to go back, some things were written, some misinformation was written about what we did. I want to go back and reiterate what I said at the last meeting, if for the people that watched, is I agreed with Jeanerette. I thought that we should have more access to voting. I think that was some of the things we were slammed on before. We did reduce from, again, clarify for me, from 64 precincts down to 53.
53, yeah.
So we've reduced access, again, not by our choice, but by the redistricting process, correct?
Correct.
That the state comes in, and then we still have some issues with, I think, 10 precincts that's still under 300 population, correct?
Correct.
So again, I'm for giving access to not just Democrats, not just Republicans, but for everybody to vote. We should never have to debate about voting here. We have some people in our family that serve the military. They serve for democracy, the right to vote. That's the biggest thing. So again, I want to say this at the end of the day. We should all be here because we want to give access to the people to vote. Shouldn't be a Republican or a Democrat issue. Should be an issue of that everybody has opportunity, whether they own a car or not, to vote. I'm done with that. Thank you so much.
Amen.
Just to clarify that 5,000, David did say that in this meeting that because of the size of the town, they needed 5,000. He said that the meeting we did it with General.
She said that's not.
I'm just saying that's what David.
No, and I'm sure he did. I was just clarifying what was put on Facebook.
Yeah. So I would think that when, I don't have no problems moving it forward. I think, David, we need to get it all
But,
together.
Mr. Landry, I'm glad you said that and confirmed that, and I hope that each party, Democrat and Republican, are gonna stand at this mic at the next
Yeah.
deal and support that, hey, listen, both our parties deserve this, all of the people deserve this, not
That's
just
right.
one party.
Yeah. That's good. All right.
Thank you.
James?
Yeah, I just want to say, you know, every time they have an election, everybody always says, man, the voter turnout was low, it was low. So anything I think we can do to get more voters out there to vote, I think it's worth it because we want to get everybody to vote, no matter who you are, what political party you are, who you vote for. So I think getting more people to vote, whatever we can do to do that, I think we should do that because that's all I ever hear is that the voter turnout.
Right. 7 and 10%.
Dustin?
Hey, all right.
Mike?
It's
Yeah,
on?
we gotta fix this.
I don't know if it's on.
It's Marcus went on.
No, it's on.
And then once you figure it out.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, cool.
Okay, everybody's mic's on, so don't say nothing
Oh, they
bad.
all, okay, they all on, good. I don't wanna be a Debbie Downer up here, but y'all did make some great points. I was one that voted against it, and it had nothing to do with Democrat or Republican. To me, it was more of a cost justification. You did mention, Warren, you mentioned, okay, we cut back on 11 total precincts at 3,300 apiece. So that number right there is 36.3. So in my mind right now, I'm seeing more as this as robbing Peter to pay Paul. So I get it. You closing precincts to as a cost-saving measure, and I believe it was also done to help out the registrar of voters with some of the, the workload. But now we're adding, so Cameron, you want to add 10,000 to this, that makes 20, plus the generator, that's 10, that's 30,000 right there. So I'm looking at it as a cost justification measure, and that's why I can't support it. I'm not looking at it as a Democrat or Republican issue, one bit. So I just wanted to make that.
And I respect your views.
Come on.
You always did, and I appreciate you always.
Yeah.
What does one vote, how much does that cost? What does one vote cost? When we say we looking at a cost-saving measure, what does one vote cost? Do we know? Have we put a price tag on one vote? Because we're comparing to saving money to a vote.
Look, you have a great point. One vote is, is crucial. One vote.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Scott.
But
Really?
I'm still on the fact that everyone in the parish has access, or some may not, I get it, the parish courthouse for early voting. We're about to spend maybe $30,000 to open 3 additional early voting places when we close 11 to save. So that's what I'm getting. It's the cost justification.
The 10,000, I'm not sure.
That's what's on paper, and that's what Mr. Ditch said. So I'm going based off of what he said and what the paper said.
But if you ask Ms. Blanchard, it's not gonna cost you $10,000. I'm not sure why we keep bringing up $10,000 increments. I know I see it there, I agree with y'all reading it, yeah. I'm trying to figure, I think at one time, just to defend on certain things, I know how it was worded about just the presidential election with generate one. The language should have been clearer than that, but I think more or less is.
So can I ask her the question?
Absolutely.
So my question is, what do you think is an estimate of what it's gonna cost each early voting place per election cycle?
Say that again?
So,
What?
what do you think is gonna be the estimate cost to operate each early voting place? I know 10,000's on the paper, and Mr.
Okay, so
Dixon
the-
mentioned 10,000, so that's,
To operate a early voting site.
each
So the 10,000 is just to cover the startup, the startup fees. That's what the 10,000 is for. Now, you know, it could be less, it could be more. You know, we meeting Monday, we're gonna find out what they need and what what they're gonna purchase and all that. So, the 10,000, but like to run a early voting site, like, I mean, I don't have numbers, but you have, you know, just the employees go on, and then you have the commissioners that's gonna be there. If you take that into, you know, they get paid $150 a day. So,
It's not the parish.
yeah, the state's gonna pay that. So, you know, all the fees that the commissioners and all of that is paid through the security I'm gonna have, is the state's gonna pay that.
okay, so what is the parish gonna have to put up? Per site?
I mean, just our portion of our payroll, you know, which is already included on a. I mean, I may need some office supplies and stuff like that, but I mean, that's not gonna be, you know, every year that's budgeted into my budget for elections. My 4 elections I budget every year through my but it shouldn't cost, yeah.
You finished for one election, if we're gonna extend this and go.
You good, Lester? You good?
I'm good.
Scott?
Just to. 5,000. I did talk to Mr. Dixon. I didn't kinda get an answer, but, I have a request into the Secretary of State's office, which I sent in yesterday. I didn't get a reply yet, and it's specific. Is there a number that drives anything going forward? So when I get that answer, hopefully by the next time we'll talk about this. I'll have
And I did speak to Sherry today. We had a
That's-
register
that
of
was her.
voters
Yeah.
workshop in Cade yesterday and today, and she did say y'all have an email or something. Yeah. So she's aware about what you're asking for.
Well, you might as well put anybody else in it.
Marcus? All mics, let me put all mics on again. No?
Good? All right.
Oh, okay.
For informational purposes, I'm off again. Am I on? Yeah,
You're
okay.
on.
Sorry, it sounded like you put it.
Sorry, I did turn it off.
For information purposes, mail-in ballots, right? That's one, anyone, everyone can receive and mail in and do it at
Well,
any period of
certain
time.
people, you have to qualify
You
to
have to
receive.
qualify. So for informational purposes, where does one go get qualified to do a mail-in ballot? Is that something we do on the Secretary of State?
You can.
Is it on our
You can
website
do it
here
on
for
the
the
GoVote.
parish?
You can go
Can-
on the GoVote app. You can come into the office, or you can request, we can mail it to you.
Okay, so the people watching, they can go to
Uh-huh.
Go Vote.
Yes.
If they qualify, they can grab a mail-in ballot, and they'll be
Yes.
satisfied to get their
Correct.
vote in if they
Mhm.
want to put that effort to do that. Okay,
Yes.
awesome,
Mhm.
thank you.
Okay. Brock Pellerin.
I have a question for Ms. Blanchard, and I would like Ms. Blanchard to answer it. Not the other 14, 15 people that been answering, 13. Ms. Blanchard, budget for election expenses in the amount of $10,000 for establishing an early voting location in Louisville, Louisiana. So it's from my understanding, the $10,000 is our initial startup cost. Am I right?
Correct.
Following year, it will not cost $10,000 to operate
No.
this site.
Mm-mm.
If I remember correctly, one of the ongoing expense of a site that was proposed to us was $350 a month, I think, for the internet service.
It's whatever that internet service
That
is
would be
gonna
an
be.
ongoing expense.
Yep. And they estimate up to 6,000, but I've been told it's not that much. It's whatever Cox, whatever they using in Generate is what we're gonna have to go with, and I don't know. So if it's AT&T or Cox, it's whatever. But they estimate this, when the state gives the sheet to go off of for budget reasons, they say up to 6,000, but I've been told that it's not gonna be that much.
So let's just say 300. So that's $3,600 per
A year.
year per location.
To maintain the line.
To maintain the line.
The secure line.
Is there any other expense that you're aware of that we would have to maintain every year?
So it would be office supplies,
Very minor.
yeah. And the state reimburses me for that. So I go through my budget to purchase it, but the state reimburses us for it.
All right. Can they reinstate the 3,600 for the internet service?
No.
Reimburse, I'm sorry.
No,
reimburse.
no, that has to be paid
All right,
through,
I'm really having a hard time with this one. Thank you, Ms. Mayor. I think I'm done with you. I'm really having a hard time with this one. Look, I agree, we need to give everybody equal opportunity to cast their vote. I did not vote for the Generate location. And I'm having a hard time supporting the Lowerville and the Delton location. I said this from the get-go. If we do it in Generate, we would have to do it in Lowerville, we would have to do it in Delton, we'd have to do it in Coteau, we'd have to do it in Lydia. Before you know it, we got 5, 6 locations to early vote. I'm just having a hard time supporting this. I really got aggravated with the whole 5,000 qualifying, because I actually heard it in the meeting and I got a phone call after the meeting telling me that, Generate qualified because it met the threshold, and now I'm hearing that there is no qualification to meet a threshold for early voting location. That kind of bothered me, but that's just besides the point. I'm having a hard time supporting it. I haven't made my final decision, and I'm good.
Lady?
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify, about, the, I guess, consolidation of the precincts. It wasn't, the parish did not, actually, present the consolidation of the precincts. It was mandated by the state that we consolidated, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was because of the size of the precincts, correct?
To reduce the precinct, well, we qualified, we were able to qualify and reduce based on the demographer's suggestion. And
Right.
then the council voted on to reduce.
And it wasn't due to any cost saving. It was because of the.
No, I mean, it would save you if
It
you
would,
did it,
but
yes.
right,
Yeah.
but
It was
okay.
based on the parish demographer suggested, to the council, made suggestions that y'all looked at maps and then decided
Right.
and voted on to reduce.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry.
Warren.
Oh, the council voted, yeah, but we were mandated by the state to consolidate the precincts.
Yeah, so it is a tough decision. Scott, Brock, I agree with you. Dustin, no offense to you, I mean, I was just trying to get the point across that, we keep saying about saving money, and I don't disagree about saving money. I know we got some budget hawks here, but at the end of the day, that's why I asked, what does one vote equal in dollar value? When we talk about voting, how do we save money when it comes to voting? Again, we talk about access, we talk about the issues of voter integrity and all this good stuff, but again, at the end of the day, you have to have a conscience to say, if we gave it to Generate, like I said from the get-go, I never had a problem giving it to Generate, never had a problem with Lowerville, Lydia, or Delcom. It's all about access. I mean, the worst, again, I know we'll look at this down the road, open that box up and see how many people actually voted there. But Mr. Trump made a good point. Everybody complains every time it goes down, the voter turnout was low. How do we entice people to go vote more? You got to give them opportunity. You got to give them opportunity. And look, Ms. Blanchard, you do an exceptional job in that office. I
Thank you.
appreciate you. I know sometimes you being thrown into the wolves right here over should we not, but don't take no disrespect to it. I know at the end of the day, whatever the council's wishes are, you're going to go out there and you're going to enforce it and make sure it happens. So I appreciate you for that one. I just wanted to say, I mean, we shouldn't put a dollar tag or a price tag on one vote. It's, if that one person goes vote, I'm satisfied. At least we entice one more person to go early vote.
Right.
Not only do we not give them election day, we're gonna give them 10 days just for this presidential election.
Right.
You good one?
Yep.
James?
Ms. Blanchard, on the internet, does it have to be dedicated just for that? Or if you have internet service in the building you're using, can you use that one?
Has to be a dedicated line.
Okay, and have you ever checked into, I know like in my vehicle, you can get it by the year or just by the month. Have you ever checked to see if they can just have it on for that particular time and not pay for it for the whole year?
We can check with the Secretary of
Just a
State. I can
question,
ask
like
that
with
question on
AT&T or Cox,
Monday.
They might offer you something special because of the circumstances that you could just turn it on. for
We
six
can,
months
yeah, like to
and
put it
pay-
on
and then
vacation.
turn it off when you don't need it?
I can ask the,
Okay.
when we meet Monday, I can ask that question with the
Ask that
state.
question and see if it might be a
Mhm.
possibility.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Scott?
I just had one comment. President Trump voted early today, so if he thought it was important to vote early, I think we all passed this. Thank you.
Just a question, just a question to Christie. Do we have enough time to set this up for the presidential election?
I would say no, but I don't know if there's a specific deadline.
Yeah.
But did Sherry tell you no?
I had the,
Okay.
and it had to be done, I think it was July 31st for
Okay.
the presidential. So this will
Okay.
actually be for the spring.
Natalie?
Yeah, I've been struggling with this since I saw it on the agenda. Did a lot of phone calls and talking to people today. I'm kind of like Brock. I really don't know where I am still. Being one of the budget hawks that was referred to earlier, I did not support this for Generate because whether we were mandated by the state or not, the fact that we were able to save money did come into play. It was part of the reasons for the vote. Obviously, we didn't have to do as many precincts reductions as we did, or we didn't. I mean, we did it to save money. And I guess I was here when the freeze came. I mean, we've tried to do everything we could to build that general fund. I hear what Mr. Gosha is saying, that there is no cost that you can put on a vote. I hear what Mr. Trahan is saying, that, you know, every opportunity that we give them matters. I can't disagree with either one of those. To be able to give somebody 10 more days to vote for president and give those more opportunities, those are very compelling arguments, I have to say. Voter apathy is an issue. Getting people to the polls and getting people to vote is an issue. There's no question about that. I didn't agree with spending the money to do it in Generate, but I mean, after listening to all the arguments, I'm kind of leaning on the side. We've already approved it for Generate, and I don't think it's fair of us not to give that opportunity to Laurelville and Delcom. I mean, if we're going to make it convenient, then I think we need to make it convenient for as many people in the parish as we possibly can.
You good? Warren?
Yeah, am I on? Ms. Broussard, I appreciate you mentioning me now, and I wasn't referring to you as the budget hawk, I was just saying in general. But I'm glad that you brought that up about it. If you willing to sacrifice some of the insurance that's paid to you every month, we could pay for this precinct. So when we refer to budget hawk, make sure, no, I'm not going nowhere. So again, I didn't call anybody out particular. Again, I said, if we're gonna stay in a steady line, let's be consistent on what we do. It wasn't good for Generate, but now it's good for a different, you know, we're using all these topics. I'm just asking, let's be fair to everybody up here. That's what I try to at least do every time. But again, if we take the shot, I can take it back. I know it's live streaming, but the people need to know. There's other ways that we can save money that people are very selfish about.
You good? So before we go forward, I know we would have to amend the language, because this is not gonna happen for the presidential election, because we under a time constraint. And I know Cayman wanted to add Delcom to that. Yeah, we'd have to scratch presidential.
Are you sure about that? I'm just saying.
That was the question, she said it also.
You sure that it can't be done?
The Secretary of State,
We didn't, okay.
They have to test it, they have to test the laptops, they have to test the connectivity.
Well, first, the Secretary of State will have to approve what you're asking, and then they'll go into looking at the number, the actual population in the area to see. They'll take all that, same thing Sherry Haskey did, and Nancy Landry will they'll communicate, I'm sure, and look at all these. They probably have a little checkoff list that they do, and then if they approve it, then of course, you're, yeah. Yeah, because, the next election we have scheduled is December 7th, but, I mean, I would recommend for y'all to maybe ask for 2025. There's no scheduled elections in 2025, but I would ask,
I need
worded.
some amendments if you.
Wait.
Okay.
Oh, you could probably do the man, but just say future elections, and we'll be covered by that.
2025.
To change it to future elections. 2025, let's say, and add Delcom and move from 10 to 20,000.
Future.
Okay, well,
the year out.
Take the year off.
all future elections.
Okay, and add Delcom.
Yeah.
So, okay, I got
Any more?
I got an amendment, I got a motion by Cayman to amend the language. I would need a second.
Any more?
I got a second by Scott. Okay, Scott, you have any?
I will you.
Lady Fortnett Brown? No, we got the
We
second.
already got it. Take it off the book.
Brock?
So, the amendment's gonna read, discuss and consider a resolution amending the 2024 general fund budget election spec in the amount of $20,000
Yeah.
for establishing an early voting location in Louisville, Louisiana, and Delcom, Louisiana, for future elections.
Yes. Warren?
Mr. Chair, okay. I would just suggest if we're gonna do this, members, it does no sense to do it in the 24 fiscal year when you know you're not gonna utilize the money. So why not do it in 25 for carryovers? Well, I thought we just agreed that we weren't gonna. So you feel that's gonna be you'll need $20,000 to do that?
Using some of that money to set up the infrastructure in the building for a future election.
So we still feel we have an opportunity in December?
No.
No, there's no way, yeah.
You have to drop the line, you have to buy the laptops, you have
Okay.
to purchase certain things.
All right, I just wanna make sure because.
Anybody else?
Anything else? Anything else?
Anybody else?
I'm glad I brought that up, because we would. All right, if there's nothing else, vote
On the amendment.
on your machine, on the amendments.
Wait, mine ain't going.
That motion passes.
Oh,
The amendments passed. Now we're gonna go to the main motion, so with the amendments, everybody vote.
I'm asking for it in that.
That motion passed. Okay. Number,
Fun?
number 2, discuss and consider resolution. We on number 2. Discuss and consider a resolution declaring various vehicles as surplus property and further authorizing disposal of same in accordance with parish policy and state law, as requested by the Iberia Parish Fire Protection District Number 1. Fire Protection District Number 1. I have a motion by Warren Godgeson. I have a second by Natalie Broussard. Warren? Natalie? No other discussion, all in favor, vote your machines, or all opposed, however we go.
Mine.
That motion,
Is mine,
yeah,
okay.
that
It's not
motion
showing it here.
passes with Marcus stepped out. Move to adjourn. Oh, my knees hurting me, man, they're cracking.
I now call the Finance Committee to order. It's August 14th, 2024, 8:44 PM. 1 second, please. Good. Let the record reflect Mr. Broussard is back in the building. We good? Number 1, discuss and consider an ordinance to provide an additional ad valorem tax exemption of $2,500 of the assessed valuation of property receiving the homestead exemption that is owned and occupied by a qualified first responder in accordance with Article 7, Section 21 of the Constitution of the State of Louisiana. Warren P. Gosherson Jr., District 5. I have a motion by Mr. Gosherson, a second by Mr. Michael Landry. Mr. Gosherson.
No more. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the reason I brought this up, I know a couple of other parishes have joined the board that we seen. I think St. James was one of them. This is an opportunity. I know a lot of times we talk about our first responders. We're not able to pay them a whole lot, and I think this is an opportunity to expand on what the state constitution has been able to do, what the state has been able to do. The $2,500 is very reasonable. I think, maybe some others may say $3,000, $4,000. I've heard some conversation about, but I think we need to help our first responders, our firemen, our police. Without those guys in the trenches and helping us and saving this community, keeping us safe, this is a no-brainer right here. I'm hoping to have good discussion over it and make sure that at the end of the day, we know that that we're thinking about them. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Landry?
This is a way of us giving something back to the community, so I'm in full agreement. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Oh, Brock popped in. Hold on. Ms. Speller?
Yeah, I'm sure there is. Is there something in Article 7, Section 20 that defines what they're qualified as a first responder?
Yeah, there actually is. I can get that for you at the next meeting if you like. There's some in there in the bill in the packet they should have,
Okay.
I see Scott smiling over there.
All right, any further discussion?
Yeah, sure, please.
Ready?
I think it's in the packet.
What was in the bill? That was in the
Always. It's in the packet.
All right, without hearing any further discussion, please vote your machines. The motion passes unanimously. Number 2, discuss and consider an ordinance adopting the 2024 road sales tax fund budget of revenue and expenditures. Parish President. I need a motion. And a second. I got a motion by Mr. Michael Landry. Second. No, Ms. Brown. I have the second. So, Mr. Landry.
Oh, this is just setting up,
Just setting up a fund.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
nothing.
So you're doing is setting up a fund for the road tax that was just passed,
That's it.
a line item.
Ms. Brown?
I had pressed it for a second.
Well, somebody has to second it now.
Okay.
Mr. Broussard. Mr. Bruce.
I have my lights on.
All right.
I'll second and I'll wait.
I'm still
Any further
on.
discussion? Good, ready? Please vote your machines. Oh, Brock. Wait. What just happened? Brock. No vote though. Kamen? Mr. Landry? Good. The motion passes unanimously. Number 3, discuss and consider a resolution to amend the 2024 general fund budget in the amount of $22,895 to reduce appropriated postage expenditures incurred during the redistricting process as provided by the Secretary of State, that the state legislature took action to cover this expenditure with said appropriation to increase fund balance. Parish President. Need a motion? Got a motion by Ms. Broussard, a second by Ms. Brown. Ms. Broussard. Hold on, I'm coming, Ms. Brown. Ms. Brown? Man, I think so. Mr. Strong, you have the floor.
Yeah, I just want to point out that the state is spending $23,000 just on postage for our voting process. So I just want to make a point that the process to vote and the voting, the taxpayers have to pay for this, so it comes with a cost. So I just want to point that out, that it does have a cost for voting. Just want to point that out. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I'd just like to add on to that. There's foreign countries where the cost is death.
Yeah.
For not being able to vote, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I could give to me. All right, any further discussion? Please vote your machines.
Hey,
Motion
hold
passes
on.
unanimously.
Hold on. My machine not showing.
Huh?
It's not even on the board, though.
Oh. Wait up.
You're not here.
Maybe
You're not
it's
here, Mr.
happening.
Brown. You're not here.
I don't know.
I'll just have to put it in.
No. I know.
He's there.
That's what.
No? All right, we need a vote again, please. Vote your machines.
Nobody checked them other ones.
Yeah, that's for the last several votes.
Doc, I said.
Mr. Napier.
See?
All right, number 4, discuss and consider I said that motion passes
Yeah.
unanimously? Okay. Discuss and consider a resolution for necessary repairs in the amount of $54,621.75 to the American Legion Post 549 Veterans Hall Number 2, the Harry Eugene, located in Jeanerette, Louisiana, as follows. Number 1, $16,350.40 for ceilings, grids, fans, tiles, and lights in the hall and kitchen. Number 2, $15,579.25 for paneling and molding around the public area. Number 3, $20,192.10 for cleaning and painting frames, doors, cabinets, trimming, and all required painting. And number 4, $2,500 for floors, stripping and waxing. Lady Fontenay Brown, this is number 12. I have a motion by Ms. Brown, a second by Lloyd Brown. Ms. Brown.
Yes, I would like to recommend
I'll come back to you shortly. Mr. Brown? Wait. I'm coming to you, Warren. Hold on. This thing is unbelievable. Can we get a Cox line?
September, you said? Or December?
No, look at that.
September?
Mr. Goshen, you should have, Mike, Warren.
What's going on September 25th?
Okay. We vote.
You should have it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Brown, in order for us to defer, you want to pass this? I don't have a problem passing this and defer it to the September 25th meeting at full council. It's not a problem as written here, and then we can debate it that night of what we can afford and not. I know the administration is taking a look at it. I had some conversations with Mr. Richard. This is our building. Again, we said this earlier about taking care of our buildings. Would you be okay at least passing it tonight and moving it forward to the 25th of September?
Thank you.
That's it.
You good, Mr. Gustafson?
Nope, in general.
That's it. All right. Ready to vote?
Why don't we invite the Mr. Napier, you have the floor.
I could talk loud if y'all want. Oh, there we go. So what I'd like to see, Ms. Brown, is, I mean, did the administration come up with these numbers?
No? Okay, so the estimate did come from Mike.
Yeah, so, I mean, we didn't see it in our packet or
Oh,
nothing, so.
no problem. I
so
can have,
Why you wanted to defer, if you don't mind me asking?
oh, because I won't be here for the next meeting, so I wanted to defer until the 25th.
It's in the back.
So,
you can be here to talk
Warren,
about it?
she's not,
Yeah.
well, he's deferring it to the next meeting.
No, I'm actually asking to pass it.
To pass it and then defer the final, the final vote on the 25th.
Yeah, so I would've just liked to have seen the estimate.
Okay, wait,
It's in the
is
back.
it in that packet?
I didn't see it.
Yeah. What? Got it.
The estimate from the contractor?
Oh, not the estimate.
No, I see the numbers like you see it, but I, from the contractor.
Well, you can have that. You'll have it.
It's in, yeah, it was emailed. Bo, would you like to speak on it? Okay.
Bill in our maintenance department got the estimates. I'm gonna check with him tomorrow, and I'll scan and email the estimates to all of you. That's
Okay.
what you need.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, just for the record, we are not voting to defer, we are just voting on the motion as is. Please vote your machines.
No, I'm gonna make an amendment when it moves to,
Hold
on
on.
the final.
Hold on, we,
Shouldn't there,
we can.
I'm gonna make it-
shouldn't there be one, a funding source?
You're not on, Warren. We've already voted. All right, hold on.
So,
We're not voting.
man, we gotta fix
Mr.
this.
Gotcha.
It ain't going nowhere yet.
Go ahead, Mr. Gotcha.
No, I don't disagree. You're right. The funding source is not named here. But again, it's not like we signing it into law. We can have that debate that night. That's what I was saying. If we can at least move it forward,
Yeah.
then that gives us an opportunity to get that bid request
Right.
that you just
And
asked
see
for,
what
because
it
I'd like to
is
see
and
it
how
too.
much.
I think they said it was emailed, but I never received it. And look,
No.
I go through my emails, I delete them, make sure I check them. So, if we can just move it forward.
Yeah.
If you're all right within the council, of course, I'd like to see that, and then we can have the debate there and then finalize what fund we'd like to take it out.
On that bid.
Any further discussion before we vote? Hearing none, we're voting on the main motion. Please vote your machine. Passes with 1 nay, the nay being Mr. Swear. Motion to adjourn. I got a motion by Kingman Kerpel, a second by Mr. Broussard. Clear the floor. Please vote your machines on adjournment. Please vote your Mr. Brown.
I'm booked. Okay, now.
Meeting adjourned.
I don't want to leave.